Sorry, I forgot.
You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
Just in the nick of time, Daniel realized that he couldn't do the show without a fidget spinner.
Yes, otherwise known as a ball of some sort. And it's 4th of July weekend, so I needed America hat.
Over under on how long it takes for you to drop that softball, and then I pick it up unapologetically.
I'm going to say about 20
5.
minutes. Oh.
I was just saying 5 things.
5 things. 4,
3,
2.
1. Blast off.
Welcome to The Scrimmage. I'm Daniel Hargrove. This is my co-host, Justin Domashevitz, and our trusty producer, Andrew Gross. We are sponsored by the Law Office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz.
No relation.
What's the A stand for? The Spivey Realty Group. Recently voted the best realty group in Grace Harbor. We're only sponsored by the best.
Yeah. A bunch
We
of
need
other
another-
realty groups came
Well,
to
we
us and
are
were
the
like, hey,
best,
can we
Daniel.
sponsor your show? And we were like, no, we want the best.
Yeah, are you the best?
Yeah.
Didn't think so.
Yeah.
Bunch of other lawyers were like, hey, can we sponsor your show? And we were like, no,
Yeah.
you're not the best.
You're not the best.
We need the best something else.
Yeah, the Chamonix law firm came to us and we're like, hey, can we sponsor you? And we were like, nope, Law Office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz only.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing that we'll go for. I can't even think of the other law firms in town.
I can, but I'm not going to say that because we have a sponsorship.
Well, shoot, you look like a NASCAR driver wearing that jersey.
Yeah, I do. Lots of sponsors because if you can see it, my beard's in the way a little bit, and ignore my very white bicep. I couldn't bear to wear a shirt with sleeves today. But on this one, this was throwback softball when we were sponsored by Farmers Insurance, Backholm Insurance. Shout out Caleb Backholm.
Yep.
And also UPX. Shout out Jim Napier. Rest in power. We had those two main sponsors, and then we also had other local sponsors because I decided I wanted it to be free to play on the team. So I just spent like 2 full days going around to a bunch of businesses asking for $50.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing we all had to pay for was the $12 really crappy T-shirts that we bought. It was good. It was a good season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful that my softball sponsor this year covered everything.
You guys have slick jerseys, too.
We do have slick jerseys.
I really like that. We had the one year that we played for the Premier Realty team when we had real baseball jerseys, and that's what you guys have.
Yeah.
I like that.
I
Should
like
we do
it,
that
too.
for our wiffle ball team?
Oh, like get the button downs?
Yeah.
I'm down for it. Something's licking my leg.
It's not me.
It's Pax. Pax is licking Daniel.
Pax is licking my leg. I must have salty knees.
All right. Note for the end of the show, Daniel Salty Knees
Salty
Hargrove.
knees. I'm wearing my Simply Seeger shirt. Remember when
I
we
wore that
had
one yesterday.
Remember when we had someone who could hit at Safeco Field? Remember that?
Yeah.
That
I mean, we've got Rayleigh.
Yeah, we got Mitch Garver.
oh boy, we're hosed.
Yeah.
We're hosed in the nose.
Hey, we have good news. Julio's quad MRI came back clean.
That's not good. That means he just sucks.
I thought you were going to say that's not good. That means he won't go down to AAA.
You know
and
what?
figure
He
stuff
probably
out.
has a cold. Recently, some prominent people have used that as an excuse for poor performance in a presidential debate. So maybe it works in baseball
Recently,
too.
some people. hey, Justin.
Yeah.
I just saw that Mitch Garver's 2 for 3 today, and he's got his batting average all the way up to 181.
Whoa! When's the last
Whoa.
time his batting average started with a 1.8?
I don't know. It's been a while.
Not much this season.
And just to not throwing this out there, there's actually only 2 Mariners in today's starting lineup that have a batting average under the Mendoza line.
Wow.
The other one is under. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The other one's Jorge Polanco, our other big off-season move. He's batting 191.
Wow.
He's 0 for 2 today with 2 Ks.
Which player has the highest batting average in the starting lineup, Daniel?
That can't be right.
What?
It must be only Seattle average. But Victor Robles has a
Oh, he hit a home
333
run, I
average.
think.
Yeah, he hit a home run because, who needs Julio? He's playing center field and hitting nukes.
I don't like this new anti-Julio
New?
arc that Daniel has.
A couple years from
gone in
now,
on.
if everything goes the way I have it planned in my head, Vance Honeycutt will be playing center field for the Mariners. Julio can be in right and have a little pressure off of him.
That
That'd
sounds
be
good.
good.
The normal players who have hit lots, Josh Rojas is hitting 255 still, even though he's slumped down to that spot.
Baseball is life.
And Luke Raley's hitting 254. And Mitch Garver's got 3 RSBI. He must have hit a nuke.
Yeah, Dylan Moore gets a lot of extra base hits.
I've been saying nuke a lot.
Yeah.
It's one of the new kids things that I'm about. I like saying, bombing metaphors
Like
when
nuke.
it comes to sports things.
New kids on the block, or
Yes, the nuke kids on the block. Let's get things rolling with the local sports roundup.
ooh. The South Beach Junior Division Little League All-Stars defeated Capital 12-1 on Monday in Westport to win the District 3 championship. South Beach drew an opening round bye in the 5-team bracket, then opened with an 11-4 win over Capital, then defeated Centralia 14-4 in the semifinals. They freaking rolled through this tournament.
Yes.
Troy Griffith picked up the win on the mound in the title game, pitching 4 scoreless innings in relief while allowing just 2 hits and no walks and striking out 8.
Nice.
Bryce Bottleson had 2 hits, including a 2-run double. Rustin Quinby also recorded 2 hits for South Beach, and Noah Roerich contributed to a 7-run third inning with a 2-run single.
Oh, the next generation of Quinbys coming up through South Beach. Look out. A Willapa Harbor South Beach combo team will represent District Little League District 3 at Seniors State after defeating Capitol 17-2 on Saturday.
Saturday.
Elma also advanced. That's a good one. I'm going to use it. Elma also advanced a teen to state after winning the intermediate district tournament by beating Larch Mountain.
Take that
5
to
0. Take that to 9-0. Then beating Prairie Dogging it 12-0 in the title game. Elma opened the intermediate state tournament with an 8-2 win over North Kitsap on Saturday.
Montesano Little League's Majors All-Star team made it says food run, but it's actually good run. Made a good run in the district tournament.
Was it tacos?
No, a food run is, for Little League Baseball, it's the equivalent of a beer run in softball.
Oh,
They made
okay.
a food run in the district tournament, but ended its season with a 1-0 loss to Larch Mountain on Saturday. Monty had opened the tourney with a 12-4 win over Aberdeen before falling to Chehalis 3-2. Monty then beat Willapa Harbor 6-4 and Capital American 9-1. Calder Luft hit a home run for Monty in that 9-1 win. Both of Monty's wins in that tournament were by 1 run. So brutal.
I just thought of a reference. I'll have to tell you later in the car. Remind me. Montesano and Elma's 8-10 All-Star teams each kicked off their district tourney with wins this weekend. Monty topped Larch Mountain 6-5 on Saturday. Take that to 9-0. And Elma trounced Capital American 13-2 on Sunday morning. Gulls recap.
Yeah, that'll do it for the local sports.
Oh, I
roundup.
thought I
you
was
want me to
still
stop
supposed to
the
read
music?
things.
Yeah, go ahead and kill the music. Also, that Monty 8-10 All-Star team played at 10 this morning, or at noon. Maybe they were at noon, and I haven't seen a result from that game yet, so I'm not sure what happened in that one.
Is it on Game Changer? I feel like,
Yeah.
Game Changer's everywhere now.
It probably is on Game Changer.
We've got slow pitch teams using Game Changer now.
While they're playing.
It's
The
changed the
people who
game.
are playing softball games are using Game Changer while they're playing.
Yeah.
As I witnessed firsthand.
Yep.
On
Just on my
Tuesday.
team, we've seen somebody using their phone on their way to first base, notching a single.
Yeah.
And then
I'm sorry, if you were using your phone on your way to first base, then it should have been a double.
no, not with this guy.
Not him. No.
Also,
It didn't slow him down
I
at
think
all.
he did hit a double though. Didn't he hit a double in one of the
Yeah.
games? It was just like really far.
I was also video calling my family from center field the other day.
Oh.
That wasn't this week. That was the week before.
That was in men's rec league.
Yeah.
You did that?
Yeah, nobody answered though. It was a bummer. I was trying to get because my son couldn't come to that game, so I was trying to video call him so I could have him like watch me play outfield while I was out there.
Yeah. You were gonna like have a live FaceTime with your son.
Yeah.
While the game was going on,
Dude.
If a fly ball came to you, would you have kept it going?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you weren't gonna catch with two hands, or
He doesn't
Two
catch with two
hands.
hands.
Practice what I preach, not what I do.
yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. That gives me a good idea. Next softball game. Oh dang it! My hamstring might not be good enough for me to play outfield, and I don't think I could pitch. No, I couldn't pitch because I'd have to have the phone in one hand, and I've almost died once playing this year pitching. So I don't think I
You
should video call
should
somebody.
get
Maybe I
something
can play
so you
first.
wear your phone like on your chest.
I was gonna say because third base is pretty much locked down by a guy who's also injured, so you can't play third, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't play catcher
I could play third
because
if
the guy
Kyler's
who's playing
feeling
catcher
better.
runs Game Changer.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I could play first or third. I don't know. I don't know.
Conceivably, you could pitch in theory.
Yeah, I just couldn't do the phone while I did it.
Yeah,
I mean, I pitched
could you?
while hurt.
You could prop it up behind the plate, maybe.
There we go. That's a good idea. Anyway, I need to YouTube live
Who's
it for our
reffing?
channel.
That would be good,
or
yeah.
Do you have a good ref? Who's umping? Do you
Dude,
have
if
an
it's
ump that you
Dave, we
trust?
definitely could not put that on our channel.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Could we do like live bleeping,
Yeah, I don't think so.
like the
No,
episode
I don't
of?
think YouTube supports live bleeping from a mobile.
There's a-
mobile live stream.
There's an episode of 30 Rock where one of the compliance guys live bleeps a episode of Tracy Morgan on their live night show.
Yeah,
It's a lot of bleeps.
I bet.
He gave a
Goals
lot of bleeps.
recap.
So let's talk about goals. We had
Let's talk about him.
the Coastal Cup for the goals.
Oh, yeah. Domination.
Pretty cool. Like I think I didn't talk to any of the guys like specifically about what the idea behind the Coastal Cup was, but like basically they hosted a big soccer tournament.
That's
and had
awesome.
other local teams played in it as well. And I believe all the goals. I think they told me that all the goals teams at least made it to the semifinals. But we'll have a few Athlete of the Week nominees that come out of this from the group stage. There's multiple Goals B Boys 13 teams, so they have different names. One of them's coached by Daniel, and one of them's coached by Darian. So the Goals B13 Darian team beat the Goals B14 team 7-0.
Ooh.
This is an interesting one too because there's a couple of girls that played with the boys teams, and some of those girls had an impact on those games as well. So Jerry, which is otherwise known as Jerica Brain, who has been boys team Athlete of the Week before for us. Little echo there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jerry had 2 assists, one on a Levi goal, one on an Onsel goal.
Nice.
Alexander also scored 2 goals in the first half, giving them a 4-0 win or lead at halftime. And then in the second half, Connor assisted a Levi goal, Alexi assisted an Aaron goal, and then Connor scored for the 7-0 win. Then the Goals B13 Daniel team played to a draw against the Monty Dragons, and Jerry had a goal in that game, assisted by Levi. So this is Jerica Brain, so this is a girl playing on the boys' teams. In one game having 2 assists, and then in the other game having a goal, which was pretty cool.
Yes.
And then the Goals B13 Darian team played against the Monty Dragons and beat them 2-1, with 2 goals coming from Johan. Then the girls 14 team played against Harbor Youth Wolfpack and won 3-1. Jerry had 2 goals in that game, and then a third goal by Miley was assisted by Brooklyn. And the Goals G14 played against EMYS Woods Electric. Jerry had an assist and a goal in that game in a 2-1 win.
Elma Youth Soccer? EMYS?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if all the teams are local or if some of them came from out of town or not. But I did see that they're hoping to continue doing this Coastal Cup annually and growing it.
Can I play in it?
Probably
You've
not.
aged out.
Dang it.
You might get hurt.
I did get hurt the last time I
Yeah.
did something goals related.
In the goals B13.
If you could qualify, then you could play in it, Daniel. I'm sure.
When the goals B13 Daniel team played against
That's
the
my
goals
team.
B13 Darien team, which I was assumed for them was the match of the day.
I mean, if you divided my age by 11, I'm pretty sure I meet the age requirement.
Well, your team won, Daniel, 3-1.
Let's go.
Jerry scored a goal off an assist from Levi. For the Darien team, Johan scored, and then for the Daniel team, Levi scored 2 times, with one of them coming off an assist from Alexander. And then the girls 14 team played against SMYSC Phantoms B and won.
SMY
SC.
SC. So SMY. SM. Where's SM at?
I don't know.
What's SM?
St. Martin's.
Youth Soccer Club?
Who knows?
I don't know.
But that was a 1-0 win in which Jerry.
South Mason.
Ah,
cool.
there we
Okay.
go.
Smart.
That was some quick Googling there.
No, he just knew that. That was a 1-0 win in which Jerry scored the only goal.
Jerica on fire.
Yeah.
Flame it.
In the group stage, Jerica scored 6 goals. And
What'd you have, like 4 assists?
3 assists.
3 assists?
Yeah, in the group
Nice.
stage. And she's playing for 2 teams, which means she's playing for one of the girls' teams and one of the boys' teams. So the stats are coming from 2 places.
Dude, that's a lot of running.
But that also means she's competing with the boys' teams, which is pretty awesome.
yeah.
And then in the semifinals, the goals B13 Daniel team beat the goals B14 team 2-0. Levi scored both goals, one on an assist from Ansel. In the semifinals, the goals B13 Darien team lost to the Monty Dragons on an own goal. Ooh, that's tough.
Ouch.
In the semifinal, the girls 14 team won against East. We said it's East EMYSC.
EMY.
Did we figure that one? EMYSC.
East Mason?
EMYSC is Elma McClary Youth Soccer
Oh,
Club.
That actually
nice.
makes total sense.
Elma
I feel like
McCleary.
we probably should have come
Awesome.
up with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
in
bad
that
job
one,
by you two.
the girls 14 team came up with a 2-0 win with Delilah and Jerry scoring again.
Dang.
Off an assist from Brooklyn. And then
The whole city of Brooklyn.
yes. No, I think it was a person named Brooklyn. No, it's the whole city.
Oh. Daniel says, Coach Daniel says, all local teams for this year, maybe they will do an adult co-ed division.
Can you call? Okay, hold
Coach
on a
Then
second.
I wouldn't
Please do not do that.
Coach Daniel, I have a request.
We will lose, Daniel.
If
He
you
will be
no,
out.
I actually want this. I want if you do an adult co-ed division. So that'd be like people who are too old to compete with like your men's and women's team. Can we call it the aged out division?
Oh. That's
So
not nice.
once you've aged out of being part of real competitive soccer, you can be a part of this aged out division.
That's not very kind.
But I want that.
The aged out division.
Daniel's saying there, I want to play soccer, but I don't want to be aged out. But I want to play soccer, but I don't want to be aged out. But I want to play soccer.
Well, in the final,
Oh.
the goals B13 Daniel team, Daniel,
Okay.
your team.
Yep, my team.
Also Coach Daniel's team.
Yes.
Combined. That's why they call it the Daniel team. 'Cause it's
Absolutely.
both of you.
Yeah.
Beat the Monty Dragons 4-1.
Let's go.
Levi scored a hat trick in that game, one off an assist from Alexander, one off an assist from Ansel, and then Ansel also scored a goal off an assist from Connor.
Nice.
And then the girls' 14 goals team lost in the finals to Phantom A.
Hey, Phantom A?
Phantom A.
Is
Phantoms A.
Is that like Phantoms Anonymous? Daniel
they're
says
hooked on
girls
Phantoms.
division was all 1 year older than the G14. The boys division, Jerica was playing 1 year up. So she wasn't only playing on the boys team, she was also playing up. And then he says aged out division is perfect. Gosh dang it, Justin.
I get the impression that Jerica's just an absolute stud.
Yes, I think that would I'm not sure if that's an impression or just a fact.
Fact of an impression.
Yeah.
Total
Justin's
stats.
noticing.
Total stats from this. Jerry, otherwise known as Jerica, ends up with 7 goals and 3 assists in the tournament. Levi scores 9 goals on the team that ends up winning the title as well. Just to run down the goal scorers, Johan had 3, Alexander 2, Ansel 2, Miley 1, Delilah 1, and Aaron 1, Connor 1, Brooklyn 1. And on assists, we had Jerry with 3, Ansel with 2, Alexander with 2, Connor, Levi, Brooklyn also each had 2, Miley and Alexis each had 1. Also worth noting, Jerry, Miley, and Delilah all played on the girls' team. They all played on the girls' team and the boys' 13 team.
Dang.
So all 3 of those girls played double duty. Jerry played for B13, Daniel. Miley and Delilah played for B13, Darian.
Nice. That's awesome.
So lots of good stuff happening. We do have a few. We'll get to this when we do our Athlete of the Week nominees, but we have 3 Athlete of the Week nominees coming from that one as well.
I have one request that I don't think he'll think is perfect.
Okay.
I think the B12 team, when they eventually have one, should be the Vitamins. And they should have a B15 team called the Bombers.
B12.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to go for that.
That's really dumb.
But you laughed at it.
I did, and I feel kind of dirty inside.
I think if they ever have a 4-year-old boys team, it should be called the B4 Afters.
Well played.
My kids would not approve. They would say that was a horrible dad joke, and that I should never say it again.
I liked it.
Thank you.
And I don't feel dirty.
Okay, good.
Dads.
Yep.
So that's our goals recap, and like I said, when we get into our nominees for Athlete of the Week, we'll have a few more notes there. I did have a note here from Coach Eddie from the Grays Harbor Gulls because he didn't have anyone he wanted to nominate specifically for Athlete of the Week, but he did want to give a shout out to one of his athletes, Ellie Winkleman, who plays for the Gulls women's team. Ellie finished in the top 12 for the Miss Washington pageant.
Nice.
She received the Director's Award. The state director of the pageant handpicks who they say are the epitome of what the pageant means and is. It's a coveted award. She is excited that she also won the fitness award for her group, the Alpha Group. So that's a big deal.
That's awesome.
I also had an additional note from Coach Eddie about Ellie. He said for the women's team, she plays outside mid and forward, and that she's been a great asset to the team. She's dedicated and leaves it all out there on the field. Now she will be heading to Willamette University to play soccer, which is cool. I didn't know that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
It's really been amazing to coach her. Eddie says she's the ultimate student of the game, and it's hard to get her off the field after practice, and he's really looking forward to next season as well.
I mean, people have said that about me, but it's usually because I can't walk anymore.
We need a stretcher to get you off the field.
Yeah.
It's not because you're a tireless worker, but it's because
It was really difficult to get him off the field.
Yeah.
We had to pick up 4 pieces.
Nobody had crutches.
You should take comfort in the fact that if that were me, it'd be harder to get me off the field because you'd need more people to carry me off.
Good point.
Yeah.
Also, I see down here there's a bullet that says Kara Burns shout out.
Yeah, I did. I posted this to our socials if anybody wants to go check it out. It's not technically sports, but it is a competition involving a local youth.
Oh, so this is outside of the goals.
It's outside of the goals.
Okay. Well, real quick then.
Yeah.
Ellie, I mean, that's awesome. It takes a lot of hard work to go through the Miss Washington pageant process, and the fact that she also got the fitness award. I mean, if you're playing semi-pro women's soccer and going to college to play soccer, you're going to be
With the
in great
face you
shape.
were making, I really thought you were going to say that you would win the fitness award.
No.
Okay. Because you did that kind of like...
No, Daniel would win the Hustle Award.
I can't stay in one piece long enough to win any award anymore.
How many times did you win Mr. Hustle as a child?
Lots.
Okay. Yeah. If she was in Miss Washington, does that mean that she won Miss Grays Harbor?
So she either won... Oops.
Wow.
I don't think you can pick it up over there.
You dropped that softball. It went so far.
Yeah.
Strategic drop.
I don't think I trust Hannah with it because she might take revenge.
She picked it up and walked
owes you
away
a
with
concussion.
Yeah, she gave me a look first though, and it makes me worried. You either have to win Miss Grace Harbor or one of the, it's like an at-large or a wild card pageant, I think, to go. So they hold other pageants that aren't
okay. Oh, you got
won
your
a
softball
pageant.
back.
She took the high road.
That was so nice.
Toes later.
They have other pageants that aren't like tied to a county, I think.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, tough to get in just in case. Or just tough to get in
For the
regardless. Yeah, regardless. For the record. Whatever.
Irregardless.
Annual.
What's up with Kira Burns?
So Kira Burns.
Is it Kira or Kira?
Kira.
Okay.
Kira went and competed at the Skills USA
Awesome.
National Leadership and Skills Conference
Is that in
Atlanta,
Kansas City?
Georgia.
Oh, Atlanta.
Georgia. And we have seen, like, we've had local kids go do this before.
Yeah.
I can't remember. And she's a 3-time national medalist, so she's done this before. But she won gold.
Yeah.
She won, like, the nation.
That's awesome.
It's been a long time since they've seen a national champ.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gold medal in residential and commercial appliance technology, which I will not pretend to understand what that means.
Is she out
Maybe
of
she
the
can help
Aberdeen?
my dad with
Yeah,
his
Aberdeen.
appliance.
So, we need help with Mr. Gross's appliances.
Yeah.
This Aberdeen, I said faction, Aberdeen, whatever it is, the group,
Okay.
they are awesome.
Okay.
For
Skills
USA.
Okay.
I'm not taking anything away from her. Like, I can't remember the last national champion. I do know that they've had one before, but they pump out medalists, man. This program is excellent. They do such a great job, and I think they had either the president or the vice president one year too of the whole thing. Was one of their students. So yeah, this Skills USA program, that's the word I was looking for, program.
Okay.
Program.
They're a program.
They're a program.
They're a program. And Kira winning the national championship is awesome. There's so many kids that compete in this, and just to get to nationals is impressive. To medal is like usually like, wow, that's amazing. To be the national champion is awesome. Is like unheard of.
So it gets even more awesome.
Oh.
Because Kira won bronze as a sophomore
Okay,
and then won silver last year as a junior.
dude.
Then winning gold this year as a senior, became the first person to medal 3 times in the event.
Dang.
And the first...
ever?
Yeah, it says becoming the first person to medal 3 times in that event.
That's nuts.
It's a pretty big deal. And she got lots of good prizes, including a 74-inch television. And it says in tools and prizes, it was more than $3,800 worth of stuff,
Nice.
which is really cool.
I remember-
Also, Kira used to attend the church where I was a children's pastor. So as
So you're
per
taking
my rule, I get to
responsibility.
take credit for every good thing she does. Just like I do with athletes I've coached.
Oh,
I get to
man.
take credit for every good thing Kira does for the rest of her life.
There
so
it
this
is.
her victory is my victory as well.
I was wondering.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Justin.
Thank you.
Well done,
We are
Justin.
very proud of you.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, like, so easy to be happy for Kira. I've always, in any experience that I've ever had with her, any interaction I've ever had with her, super nice kid, very respectful. Obviously, she grinded and worked hard here. She went back 3 times and got a little better every year.
Yep.
So congratulations to Kira Burns on her national gold medal
That's awesome.
at Skills USA.
Yep. That is so cool, Kira. Well done. We are so excited for you, and it's pretty dope that they get like some legit prizes.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially
you don't
considering
just
they
get,
have to travel so far.
Yeah, you don't just get the bragging rights like with a sports victory where you're like, yeah, you're the state champ, and you're like, sweet, I got a trophy or a medal or something. But they're like, no, here's a TV, here's some tools. One kid, I think he medaled in the mechanics Skills USA, and he got like an entire tool set, like an entire Craftsman or Snap-on, or I can't, but one of the brand name like tool sets, like chest and everything, and it was like $3,000 worth of tools.
That's awesome.
Like-
and actually helpful.
Exactly. And it was like, hey, here, you're good at this trade, continue to get better. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Skills USA is awesome. I might push my kids to do that.
I was going to say, if you were thinking about joining, you might have aged out.
yeah, I might have. Is that
I
going to be
was
the title
wondering
of this
I was
episode?
wondering if we should talk to the leadership in Aberdeen. Like, do you know anything about
Yeah.
who's
If
running
it's still the same person, it's Chuck Vallone, and
Okay.
Chuck does an
Clearly
excellent
he
job.
knows knows something.
Yeah. If he's not still the person, and he's kind of like the founding father, I would say, if he's not still the guy who does it. But Chuck Filoni does an amazing job. I actually went to school with his kids, Joel and crud, I'm forgetting his daughter's name. But they live down the street from my parents. I grew up next to him. Yeah, Chuck is an awesome guy, and he puts in so much time and effort into the Skills USA, and it's really, really cool.
If anybody's curious about more information on Kira or Skills USA, I did post it to our socials, but I just shared a post that was from Aberdeen School District.
Yeah.
So go to Facebook, find the Aberdeen School District page, and it has more information on there.
And I know that even if you're not in the Aberdeen School District, I know Monty kids and Hoquiam kids have done it through Aberdeen Skills USA before.
Oh,
too.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I
it's
could
really
be
cool.
mixing it up with
That's very
FBLA too, but I think didn't Elma have some kids that did like, no, it had to have been Skills USA. I think there was like robotics or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I think some Elma kids went to the competition for robotics some years ago.
Sweet.
So we got a lot of local kids doing stuff in there.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, it's a little outside of our purview. It's a little outside of sports, but it's still local youth competing in something at a high level, and I wanted to make sure that we recognize it.
Love it.
Is it non-athletic sports? Is that fair to say?
We don't need to revisit the What's a Sport contest.
Yeah, because then Justin offends a lot of people.
I do, and it happens a lot. Just at work the other day, I had an argument.
Competitions.
I had an argument with someone at work about the difference between sports and motorsports. Because racing is not a sport.
It's a motorsport.
Motorsports is a separate category.
Esports is also a separate
Yeah.
category. There's
It
lot of
takes a lot of
categories.
skill.
It might be like sport is wider than just athletics.
So should we go
Maybe we
sports
should
as
call
a
them
broad
esports.
category, and athletic sports is there's athletic sports, esports, motorsports.
If you call them athletic sports, it makes
Water
them
sports.
Sound, it makes them sound better than the other ones.
Does
Like,
it?
I play an athletic sport, you just play a motorsport. So I think we should
that
just
might
keep
be
them
your
separate
own
categories.
That might be your own bias.
Biases.
I don't know. Esports sounds pretty bad anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just instead of saying esports, they're just S-sports.
I think the biggest
A-sports.
misconception out of
Sports.
this is if you argue with someone who's a huge racing fan,
I thought you were going to say a huge racist.
well, that too. If you argue with someone who's a huge racing fan and you'll be like, well, car racing isn't really a sport. And they'll be like, well, you do it then. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's not hard. It's obviously really hard. It's just different from the ball sports.
Oh, should we have another category for ball sports?
Well, no, because having
Would
a
you
ball
put the
or a
balls-
ball equivalent is part of the it's part of the definition of it being a sport. A ball or a ball equivalent.
Okay, so is gymnastics and
Competitive activity.
and racing not sports in your opinion?
I thought we were-
You mean like track and field?
Track and
and
field.
That's a competitive
and
activity.
Gymnastics not a sport. In your
Competitive
opinion.
activity.
Okay, it has to have a ball or a ball derivative,
Like a puck.
Right.
What about
Frisbee?
shot put?
That probably counts.
Ooh,
as a
that's a
sport.
good one. Because the other, we're getting back into this. We've had this conversation like 5 times. The other thing is it requires some
That's a
kind
good
of
one.
cardiovascular output. So
Yeah,
I
but
think
all of those things,
I
the
don't
things
think
we're talking about.
shot put requires cardiovascular output.
Oh, so you're because
You think that you're throwing things as hard as possible without any cardiovascular support?
Output.
I think you put the wrong word into it, and Andrew's about like I don't think you understand what you actually said because I think you're saying cardio as in like being
Does
in
it make you
shape.
breathe heavy?
Yeah, and
Does
I'm,
it make you breathe
You
heavy to
think-
spin around in 3 times and throw
You
a shot
think
put?
that you can throw shot put without breathing heavy?
Yeah, I do.
oh.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think there's some
am
Strockers
not-
that might
I
wanna
am
argue
not
with you.
a shot putter, but I feel like if I were doing it, I would be able to do it hard enough to breathe. I'm in terrible shape.
I'm the
though.
most
I would
qualified
breathe
person
heavy.
to have this conversation
I'm
because
just
I've
throwing-
never thrown a shot put in my
I'm
life.
just throwing this out there. I don't want to argue with shot putters
I'm with Daniel here.
because while I used to be able to run away from them, I don't have much confidence in my ability to do so anymore.
I'll get Jordan Spradlin on the line.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand in front of Jordan
she's
Spradlin.
not gonna help. She's not going to back you up.
I'm gonna stand in front of Jordan Spradlin and tell her that the thing she competed in is not a sport.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Don't
Not
like
happening.
that idea.
Yeah.
Do we want to do a break now or after Athlete of the Week?
I think this is actually a good time for it.
I think so too.
Let's do
Hey.
our first commercial break.
Let's do it.
Spivey Realty Group's goal is to make buying, selling, investing, and renting real estate in Grace Harbor simple. They believe in 100% transparency and unparalleled communication with local expertise, tech-enhanced, and top-notch service for their friends, neighbors, and community. Their goal is simple: get a group of strong-willed, hard-working people together who want to make a difference in Grace Harbor and to use real estate as the means of achieving that. Voted Grace Harbor's best real estate company. Find them on Facebook or visit graceharborrealestate.com. Spivey Realty Group, elevating small-town real estate.
And they were voted as the best realty group in Grace Harbor yet again. Spivey Realty again voted best real estate company and best realtor, Kevin Spivey. Shocker, when you're the best realty group, might as well have Kevin Spivey of the Spivey Realty Group be the best realtor. But also, my guy, Chris Pirog, the second best realtor of Grace Harbor. So not only did they have the top one, the top group, but also the runner-up realtor of Grace Harbor, Chris Pirog, my guy. See, I can't say Kevin's my guy, even though Kevin sponsors us. Is your knee
I
okay?
just hit my knee.
You can bring the video back up if you want, Andrew. Kevin's sponsoring us, and I really appreciate it. And he's, best group. He's the best realtor. But my guy is the second best realtor, Chris Pirog, also of Spivey Realty Group. He's my god brother.
So he's also
he's my
of
guy.
Spivey Realty.
Yes,
though.
he is.
Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
So he is also in a small part sponsoring us.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely. He also approves of my alternate commercial that I haven't showed to Kevin yet.
What is it? the
Yeah,
conversational one.
Yeah, I showed it to you too, where we're both doing it. Yeah. But I'll have to show that one to Kevin.
Kevin, you just called him Kevy, but he's not your guy.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is
I'm
Kevin
pretty
plays against
sure-
us in sports.
It's true.
I'm
So-
pretty sure that an email from Chris to you is the ultimate beginnings of my buying the house that I'm in now.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Chris Pirog, second, according to this, voted second best realtor in Grace Harbor of Spivey Realty Group, sent me an email that had the listing of the house we're currently in. And I was like, hey, that looks like an Andrew house.
And little did he know it would become the world famous studio of the Scrimmage podcast.
World
County-wide
Famios.
famous. Oh, dear.
Yes. Yes. So also, real quick, before we do our Spivey Athlete of the Week, big shout out to our also friends of the show, just because they're my friends, and I think they're Andrew's friends too. Highland Golf Course. They were voted best golf course of Grace
Oh,
Harbor.
nice.
Yeah.
I've
So-
golfed there before.
Me too. So shout out to Ronnie.
Is Oaks Ridge still open?
It is still open.
Okay.
They've threatened to close like half a dozen times.
Yeah.
But
Well, they full on said they were going to close, and then I think they decided to keep it open for a little while because of like public outrage.
yeah, and they're still open.
Yeah.
So
They're dumping
Support-
a bunch of dirt next to it.
support your golf courses.
They're doing all that highway work. I'm wondering if that'll make it so the golf course doesn't flood.
Interesting.
I have no idea, but it would make sense to me.
I want to say support your local golf courses, and then I realized I'm a guy who owns a set of golf clubs and hasn't golfed in like 5 years.
Bruh. Dude, we need to
Bro.
do dude.
Me too.
We need to find a fourth and go get in one of these random like scrambles that's a benefit for
That's
something.
part of the problem.
Should we get in the Young Life tournament this
I
year?
think we just need to go because I think we just need to go golf because then I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to golf with a bunch of people I know when I haven't played in 5 years. I'm going to be terrible.
Dude, but we're all terrible except for me. I'm just kidding. I just think I'm better than you.
There's no think involved in that. You are definitively better than me. Even though I had a really good time
I would
joking
put it-
with your brother the other day
Oh, no.
about how when you fouled a ball off really hard to the right, I was like, oh, this is like Highlands hole 11 or whatever the one is that you constantly shank the ball into the trees.
Yes, there's definitely a specific hole that I do that on. Thanks for bringing it up.
At the best golf course in Grace Harbor.
At the best golf course in Grace Harbor. Ronnie Espedal, the guy who runs it, thank you so much. Also, get well soon, Ronnie. I'm sure he listens to the show. He tore his quad.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I can't remember. I
Is
don't
this
know.
Ronnie Jr. or Senior?
Ronnie Jr. Ronnie the third is the linebacker we know.
Okay.
That's why he's...
So it's Ronnie Jr. is who you were talking about when
So
you said Ronnie Sr.
Ronnie's
Yeah.
dad, Ronnie,
Yeah.
also helps out at the Ocean Shores golf course sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've seen him out
I
there.
think he kind of runs both of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, he was... Weird story. He gave my nephew a lesson, and then they
Which
were
Ronnie?
Junior.
Okay.
Because apparently there's old Ronnie,
Ronnie's
who
dad,
I've never
Ronnie.
met,
Okay.
and then there's young Ronnie, who's
Yeah.
the Ronnie we're thinking of, and then there's little Ronnie.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
So
I
you've
don't know.
got old Ronnie, young Ronnie, and little Ronnie?
I think so.
And little Ronnie's not real little.
No, little Ronnie's the linebacker.
Little
offensive
Ronnie
lineman.
played center.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was just because they had too many running backs. Yeah, the only center point guard person I found. Your son was close,
That's
but
true.
he didn't
was
play
a tackle.
point guard.
He was a tackle and more of a 2 or a 3. in
Yeah,
basketball.
exactly. So not quite, but
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Those were the two kids. Anyway, he tore his quad.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah. So, get well soon, Ronnie. We should do our athlete of the week.
Get young Ronnie. Get well soon, young Ronnie. Not little Ronnie.
Did I put that video? I think I put that Did I put that video up on the scrimmage?
Which
Or of him giving me a golf lesson, like around the course? Is that on our page or? Yeah, I think that's on our
I
page,
can't
isn't
remember. I've aged out.
it? Gosh, you're a jerk. Anyway, you can go find him giving me a golf lesson, taking me around the course
Okay.
on our YouTube page.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, let's run through our nominations for Athlete of the Week because we've got some good ones.
We do.
Our friend Forrest Wargum was shooting the Montesano
camera.
With the camera. Not, nothing deadly. He was photographing.
Nerf
is that
gun.
better? Photographing?
Yeah, sure.
He was photographing the Monty Boys Majors Little League team, and I asked him, like, hey, if anybody stands out to you, will you shoot me some names? And as the helpful person that he is,
Send you some names. Jeez.
he shot me some names of, like, hey, who stands out on this team that they finished. I think that technically you finished third, or they finished third in this district tournament. He said Brody Messick is one that stood out for him a lot. That's Doug 2.0's son, who
Doug
also
2.0. That I haven't heard that for a while. I love
also, by the way, Brody Messick, I coached in baseball, so the fact that he's good is completely because of me.
it. Yep.
The next name was Austin Maldonado, that he said came in and pitched really well for them in one game. And then Calder Luft was the other one, and Calder, as we already mentioned, hit a home run in one of their Little League District Tournament games. That was a 9-1 win.
Yes.
So that's a big deal. So we had those three from that team. And then from the Grays Harbor goals, which I'm going to go back to my messages here so I can make sure I have all the information here. Levi Gonzalez scored 9 goals and had 2 assists in 5 games in that Coastal Cup. And then Jerica, otherwise known as Jerry Brain, played 11 games across the weekend, which is pretty crazy.
That's nuts.
Because she was playing for the boys team and the girls team, and she scored 7 goals and had 3 assists. And then both of her teams went to the final
Dude.
in the Coastal Cup.
So remember how your legs felt
Yeah.
after playing 2 softball games?
Yeah, but one of them was like 2 games.
That's
Like,
true.
Can
So-
we call it 3 softball games?
We
'Cause
can.
One of
We'll-
them ended up 34-33.
We'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
Imagine what your legs would have felt like if you would have played 11 soccer games.
Oh, they would have fallen off.
You run an average of like 5 miles in a soccer game.
Yeah. My legs would have completely fallen
Not
off.
if you're a goalie.
Snap.
That would be my spot.
Yeah.
If we were playing soccer, I'd be the
Let's
keeper.
be real.
Not gonna
I cut
lie.
out to
When
be
I
a
went to
goalie.
that tryout, aged out, I
Yeah.
was like, maybe I should hop in the goal. I should have. Maybe I'd still be healthy.
Maybe you'd still be healthy. Yeah.
No.
Shut up, Andrew.
And then the third nominee from the goals is John Gray, who played 5 matches and conceded only 3 goals, getting goalkeeper of the tournament award and having 2 clean sheets, and conceding the least goals of any keeper in the tournament.
John Gray sounds like he should be an explorer, not a soccer player.
Yeah,
Like explorer John Gray discovered Grace Harbor.
he
in
would have
19
discussed. He'd have to.
in
Yeah.
1810.
The
Is that when
Indians
Grays
didn't
Harbor
know
County was
about it
discovered?
before.
Then we have a couple of other nominees. We have Danny Burgers from Toyota 5-star softball, who had a game-winning walk-off hit while injured to end a 34-33 softball game that nobody wanted to play any longer.
That Burgers guy.
Yeah, and then
34 to
he-
33.
Yeah.
dude,
And it wasn't even extra innings.
Andrew,
Brutal.
If he would have gotten out, his team might have killed him.
Andrew. Again, we'll talk about this more later. But as we were walking off the field when the game was over, I made a comment to a couple of our teammates that was like, "Remember that thing that happened in the second inning? That feels like so long ago.
So long ago.
Like it didn't feel like it was the same game."
Yeah, it was bizarre.
And then the last nominee was Sean O'Neill,
Oh, yeah.
a friend of the show.
Great
who
nomination here.
Won the Triple Crown for the CLF Church League softball B team
Yeah.
back in, I think, 2007.
Yeah. And you want to know who nominated Sean O'Neill? It was Sean O'Neill.
Friend of the show.
I had a good chat with Sean the other day.
We still haven't had him on to talk about this season's Mariners.
That's
Well,
exactly what we were
it's
talking
probably
about.
too late, isn't it?
We
No.
should have him on soon because he
I
is
don't
very
think we-
upset.
I don't think we want to have
No.
him on now.
He said he wants to have a Mariners hate show
Oh.
where we just have him on and
I
then
can't be
spend
a part of this.
the entire podcast just being angry. And I was like, wait a minute, you're angry? I'm angry. Wait a minute, if we bring up Julio, Daniel's angry too.
Yeah.
And then I was also there with our other good friend, Braden Dorman.
Okay.
And I was like, Braden, I know you're not going to be in town, but you want to zoom in? And he was like, yeah, well, I just have an entire episode of Mariners hate.
Let's do it.
I'm
But
in.
I'm not going to deface this hat at all because this hat is too nice.
Wear
to
a different
deface.
hat that day.
Okay. And not the one that Andrew got me either because it's also the most comfortable hat I own. So I need to find a Mariners
could
hat that I
probably
don't.
find
I need a blue and yellow Aberdeen colors.
I was
Mariners
gonna say
hat.
you need a downward trident, upside down trident.
I love
hat.
that
we
you
go.
said blue and yellow. I have an Orioles hat. Should I wear that?
You don't even know who,
That's
dude.
such a good
Andrew,
hat, though.
Andrew,
That's
this
probably
guy's
the
talking.
best baseball hat.
It's pretty sweet. The Orioles logo is dope, and then the colors
Yeah.
dope,
Yeah.
and then that
Obviously.
classic hat.
Yes.
It's sick. Justin though.
Shouldn't
Prove
be
to
allowed
me,
to wear it.
prove to me that he doesn't know jack squat about
You asked
the
me
Orioles.
who the shortstop was, and I answered so fast.
You did. A, it was not so fast, and,
And it was
B, I
wrong.
asked you other questions and you didn't know the answer to. You didn't even know how to pronounce their center fielder's name.
What is it, Daniel?
You were like, "Hey, this guy hit a dinger," and you said his name was like Santander or something like that.
Santander.
Santander. Even Andrew knows that one, and he doesn't know which baseball team plays in Los Angeles.
Does he even know what a baseball is?
I couldn't have told you who Santander played for.
But you knew his name. All right.
I know who their catcher is.
All right.
It's Adley Rutschman.
Oh, I might name my kid Adley.
Second best
a good name.
catcher in the league.
Maybe I should name him Cal Adley Hargrove.
Oh my gosh.
What's Cal short for?
Calvin.
Is it?
Yes.
Gross. What about Callus? No, that doesn't work.
What? Really?
Callis?
What? Why do you hate Calvin?
I don't know.
How about
Oh
Calvert?
wait, Calvin and Hobbes. But he was kind of a terror.
Why do you hate
Calvin and
name? If you're a three-year-old, if you're a third grader, and not a terror, isn't something wrong with you?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. Calvin's a normal kid.
Okay.
Calvin wasn't 3.
Calvin
No,
is
third
above
grader.
average.
Oh, I thought
He
you said
switched it to
three-year-old.
third
Okay.
grader.
I said 3 because
My
I'm
listening
an idiot.
skills are bad.
I'm a complete idiot.
Francis says the Orioles stole their colors from Oklahoma. Oh, get out of here!
Oklahoma State.
I will not even finish that sentence,
He
sir.
said hashtag the real OSU.
Sir! Sir!
I would like to take a moment to recognize true trolling elegance.
Francis pops in at the best
Francis knows exactly what button to push.
time. The orange and black button.
I am also impressed enough.
I don't think I could
that
have made
was-
that connection that quickly.
That was impressive, but I'm still upset. And which college was founded first? That'll tell you who stole it. Oh, I just dropped a ball on Pax's head.
Rude.
I'm sorry,
He
buddy.
probably still loves you.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, buddy.
Wait, why is he sitting by you?
Because you weren't giving him enough pets, and I have salty knees.
I salted my knees before I came here.
Also, I think he's so hot, he just couldn't make it all the way over there.
Salty knees is the name of this episode.
All right, Justin, where are you leaning for Athlete of the Week? Because I know where I'm leaning.
I love a home run in a district little league tournament,
I love that too.
but
Especially because I also buy mugs made by his dad. Maybe he'll give me a free mug.
a frog.
A frug.
Maybe
So Calder Luft hit a dinger for a good Monty Little League team. And also his dad, Cameron,
Yeah.
makes really good mugs. He spins the pottery wheel.
I have a little bit of a conflict here because if I pick Brody Messick, then I can take credit for the award because I coached him in baseball. But Calder Luft also, he was in my class at
I
class at
believe
church.
that
so-
reduces your vote by 1/2.
Oh, I actually hit Pax in the face that time. I'm sorry, Pax.
He hasn't reacted.
You know what? He honestly likes the attention, so it's totally fine.
He's like, he loves me.
He's fine.
He's
with
like,
it.
if he hits me in the face and gives me pets, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards
Danny
Jarek.
Burgers.
I
You're
mean,
leaning
that
towards
guy.
Danny Burgers.
I mean, he knows how to eat some burgers
Yeah.
and hit walk-offs.
I've eaten so many burgers in the last week because we had my son's graduation party and we had to buy
I'm super bummed I missed that, by the
an
way.
excess amount of food. So I bought 120 hamburgers.
Can I have some of those burgers?
Well, they're not cooked. So I have a bunch of frozen patties in my freezer and it's
don't
been every day it's been like I'm going to just cook some burgers for dinner.
Dude, you want to bring some over to the Gross's house tonight and cook them?
Maybe.
Or at least deliver some, and then we'll cook them? Because
It's
we've
just
been
so
having
hot.
hot dogs like every night because we've been doing the same thing with hot dogs.
You guys have an excessive amount of hot dogs?
Yeah.
The hot dogs that we bought for the grad party though were so good.
Oh,
They were these like Nathan's like all beef full size.
yeah.
They were so juicy.
Oh, yeah.
They went fast.
I like it. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
so Danny Burgers also had a great day
Yeah.
at the plate throughout the day that week because, especially Moneyball style,
Yeah.
Andrew, Danny Burgers walked 7 times 2 games.
Yeah. Andy had like
You
a tweet.
Scared to swing?
They were scared to pitch to him.
That's what it was.
Scared to swing.
He was sitting in the 3-hole and dudes wouldn't pitch to him.
Danny when
So Danny Burgers has aged
That's
a little bit.
brutal.
how many
That
times did
is
you say Danny
amazing.
Burgers? How many times did he
Walked
walk?
so much. 7 times.
So 7 times in 2 games. I would say he saw 2 strikes in those at bats.
yeah.
Is it-
Not counting the ones where the ump called it on purpose.
True.
Yeah. I walked because I had walked 4 times in one game.
Wait, you were Danny Burgers.
I mean,
He had walked.
he had walked. He had walked 4 times in one game, and so the ump literally called one on purpose. That was the ball.
Why?
I don't know, but
It's
I swung
not
at the
like
next 2
you're-
I mean,
it's not
he
like-
swung at the next 2
Wait,
pitches.
How many like out of the park home runs have you hit in the last year?
Has he hit?
Has he hit in the last year?
2? If you count Church League?
Why are they afraid to hit to you? They should play good defense. you're going to give them a chance to get you out.
He is.
He is.
I'm not playing along with this.
He's Daniel Hargrove.
This is dumb.
We're talking about
you
Danny
should
Burgers.
only be the guy you should be throwing balls to is the guys who are like, oh, I accidentally hit a home run. Oh, I accidentally hit another home run. I'm sorry, guys.
That did happen in our game, actually.
Yeah.
Robert accidentally hit a
There
home run.
are
Yeah.
those people.
But he doesn't even usually play for our team.
But
he accidentally hit a
I'm not
nuke.
taking away from you being a good hitter.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep. It's gonna be in the park.
He is.
No, I'm taking away from people. Shouldn't be afraid of somebody who's a good hitter.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And I just kept taking it as, hey, I'll score a run. I was literally taking the money ball approach. And especially after I got hurt.
then
Because-
you're like, you're not gonna make me run? Sweet.
But also because, except for my very last at bat, but Bryce had gotten out. And so my pinch runner, if I got on base, was Bryce. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to put the fastest runner in the entire league on first base. Yeah, I'll do that every time.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was
Take
great.
that, losers.
Yeah.
That tells me that you don't trust your defense at all.
He doesn't
Which
trust his
maybe you
defense.
shouldn't, but
He should.
still.
Yeah. Anyway,
Give him a chance.
Danny
now.
Burgers had a good game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Good day. Good day.
Yeah.
Including the walk-off knock.
Yep. Nice, solid line drive right into center field.
Yeah.
A base hit in any stadium.
Yeah. I basically decided I didn't care if I hit the pitcher.
Yeah. You would have
Good.
beaten the shift. You would have beaten basically any shift.
Well, did you see what they did with their outfield?
Yeah.
They split it.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I hit the pitcher in the head, I hit the pitcher in the head.
Yeah.
When the game's on the line, so's your life.
I mean, the pitcher had already been hit in the head.
It was a different pitcher, but
Oh.
that's for later. Also, we have Sean O'Neill. I don't know. Jessica Brain.
Jerica.
Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry, Jerica.
Yeah.
I
Or otherwise
apologize.
known as Jerry.
Francis says, you're welcome with a salute. And then he says Jerica, and it's not close. And then he says surplus wieners capitalized and spelled
A
post 4th of July tradition.
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
And that is true. And then the game ended 33-34. What defense? Yeah, there wasn't
That's
much
fair.
defense.
Maybe
Not much
they had-
defense.
maybe-
Dude, we'll
maybe
get
they
to it
had
later,
good
Francis.
reason not to trust the defense.
It was bizarre.
I'm still saying that if you're walking somebody who is good at putting the ball in play, the whole system is wrong.
I want to change my athlete of the week vote
Okay.
just to
You
go
can't-
against
You can't
Francis.
do it.
Oh,
can't
you were
do
gonna-
it.
Francis!
You can't do it.
Francis,
You jinxed it,
you
Francis.
ruined it.
Is there a question who it was going to be?
It has been ruined.
Is there a question at
Ruined.
all who it was going to be from the beginning?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No. Congratulations to our Spivey Realty Group. The Spivey Athlete of the Week is Jerica Brain for being an all-out boss, playing on 2 different teams in one tournament, playing 11 games, 6 goals, 3 assists, and just overall bossness in the Coastal Cup this last weekend.
7 goals.
7 goals. Like, dang it.
You're so close.
I just winged it.
Wanged it.
Wang. Wouldn't say that. Anyway, congratulations, Jerica. You had an awesome weekend, and we are super excited for you. And we're watching you. Yeah, future.
Weird.
We're going to see what you do. A little weird, but also we have to make sure you don't just peak right now, because that has been a problem. People win Athlete of the Week from the scrimmage, and they peak. And
When you
they
said
stop
we're
working
watching
hard.
Thing
you,
is,
I almost
they
said,
need
but
to-
not in a weird way.
Yeah,
They need
you
to
probably should have.
remember that they can win it again. It's not all downhill from here.
It's a good
You
point.
Can keep peaking.
You can have
Yeah.
a longer peak.
Yep. Francis says, I called it. I'm basically producing the show right now. You know, the job
You know what?
could
I'm
come
changing
open
it. Danny
soon.
Burgers, you're the athlete of the week.
Who's that guy? He had a great week.
He had a
Francis,
great week.
bring it.
He had a really good week. I hear he wears a lot of orange and black, which is Oregon State colors.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are good
It doesn't
colors.
look good on him either.
And they were founded before Oklahoma State, and he's definitely looked that up to make sure that they stole their colors,
definitely
not the
has.
other way around.
yeah, he definitely has.
Definitely looked that up. Did you know that Wazoo's colors were pink to start with?
Yeah,
Very
that
interesting.
was when it was Washington State College,
Yep.
right?
Yep. But Oregon State, Oregon black, orange and black. And then Oklahoma State was like, hey, we're OSU also. Let's also pick the same exact colors. That's smart.
But we'll be the Cowboys.
Freaking morons. And with that, we've got more good stuff, including the 2-minute drill and this story that we've been hinting at of this wild softball game that you're going to want to hear coming up after a commercial break, simply because I need a break.
For what? Do you have a legal situation and need someone on your side? Let the law office of Jeffrey A. Damashevitz be your advocate. If you've been the victim of medical malpractice, suffered a personal injury, or need representation with real estate law, small business law, or estate planning, let Jeff Damashevitz put his 29 years of experience to work for you. Call Jeff Damashevitz today at 360-612-3991 or visit damashevitzlaw.com. That's DAMASIEWICZLAW.com. We know the names of other law firms, but we're not going to say them out loud because we are thankful to the law office of Jeffrey A. Damashevitz, no relation.
What's the A stand for?
Thank you for the sponsorship, as well as Spivey Realty Group. This is The Scrimmage. I'm Justin Damashevitz. Daniel Hargrove here with us, as well as our trusty producer, Andrew Gross. And Pax has decided to abandon old Salty Knees over there and come here and get pets from me. So I'm happy to have Pax back. But we have some good stuff to talk about still because the Mariners have been playing. The Blazers had a draft, and we have a crazy softball story that we need to talk about that you're not going to want to miss because I've played a lot of softball. Daniel's played a lot of softball. I think we've both agreed that we've never seen the thing that we saw in this game that we played the other day.
I just want to say Old Salty Knees might be the favorite nickname I've ever had.
Better than Danny Burgers?
I
Danny
didn't know that
Burgers
was...
isn't
Who's
in the
that
league
guy?
anymore.
Who's Danny Burgers?
Old Salty Knees.
Old Salty Knees. I sound like a sea captain.
Yeah.
I've always thought that.
Agreed.
Yes.
Well, should we move on to the next part of our show, which, because of the weird order that we've changed to, is the 2-minute drill?
Wait. Sorry.
Wait.
I did
Wait.
not know you were going straight to the... Okay.
Yeah, let's go, huddle up. Gotta hurry. Hey, 2-minute situation, 44 seconds, hand the ball to the ref. Gonna do it right. 3 jet Buckeye, don't worry.
The 2-minute drill starts now.
The Portland Trail Blazers selected Ukon center Donovan Klingon with the 7th Klingon overall pick in the NBA draft. Justin, do you like the pick of bringing Kling Kong to Rip City?
Kling Kong. I actually love this pick, and I think that people felt like... I mean, this is a guy who was rumored to be maybe the first pick in
Really?
some of the mocks, and
Really?
for much of the time...
That high?
Yeah. Dang. For much of the time, nobody
Did they
thought there
forget
was...
about all of the center busts?
I guess not.
Okay.
But there was a center picked at number 2, so there's a lot of size in this draft. But there was so much rumblings about how much Portland loved Klingon, and that they actually wanted him the previous year. They were hoping he would leave college and get in the draft last year so they could pick him.
Instead of Scoot?
Yeah. Well, or, whatever. But they've liked him for so long.
Has Scoot been in the league 2 years already and I didn't know it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
And it's hard to remember.
All right.
But anyway, they have liked Klingon so much that by the time it became the Blazers pick and they were on the clock and Klingon was still available, all of the commentators just started talking about it like it was inevitable. Like they were going to pick him. They started analyzing it before the pick was even in because it was so obvious that he was the right guy, and the Blazers were absolutely thrilled to get him. He's awesome. He's 7'2". He has a 7'7" wingspan. He's going to fix some of the issues they have with rim protection, and he's going to be a dunk machine. I think this was an absolute slam dunk, no pun intended, pick for the Blazers, and I was super happy with it. Dope. The Athletic reported recently that the Seattle Mariners plan to be aggressive in adding offense before the trade deadline, and ownership has committed to providing the resources to bolster the team. Daniel, do you believe this?
I'll believe it when I see it. We have an owner who, while rich for all of us, in the scheme of owners, is a poor. And he has proven over the years that he will not do any of this. And we all despise him for it. Because we waited through the rebuild. And what has he done when we've gotten to the penultimate spot?
Abraham Toro.
Why'd you do that to me? Rather than draft a player at number 14 overall, the Blazers elected to trade the pick for the Wizards wing, Denny. Justin, were you happy with the move for them to pick up?
I initially, when I first saw the trade, I was like, okay, well, anybody that they pick at 14 is probably going to be worse than Denny Avdija. But
Is it Avdija?
I think it's Avdija.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. I think that I felt good about it because he's a big-bodied wing who's very versatile defensively. He's an efficient offensive player, and I thought that's exactly what they need. But then 14 rolled around and Dalton Connect was still on the board, and I watched that guy drop 40 in college basketball games multiple times, scored at all levels. He would be the epitome of a certified bucket getter.
Ooh.
He's also older, so he's on the timeline where he could help them quicker. I get it. His skill set's a little redundant, so I think in the end the Blazers made the right move. But if Dalton Connect goes out and becomes a great scorer, I'm going to be a little annoyed.
Yeah.
Daniel, do the Mariners stink and do you hate them?
Let me check. Wait, just a second. Wait, just a second. I set up parameters for this. Oh, never mind. They're tied. So they might suck and I hate them, or they're meh and I hate them.
Yeah.
Andrew, on my way up, I said if the Mariners win this game, they're meh and I hate them. Or if they win this game, or if they lose this game, they suck and I hate them. And apparently, they've decided to blow a 4-1 lead because, of course, when they score 4 runs, their pitchers are like, yeah, we don't want to do that anymore.
I don't know what to do if my team's scoring runs.
Yes. Well,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Kirby has given up 3 earned runs, which, I mean, he still had a quality start, but then Stanek came in and gave up a nuke.
This is the thing that I run into being a Mariners fan.
Defense.
Mariners pitchers pitch the low end of a amazing start, and I'm like, well, how do you expect him to win this game?
Yeah. No, I actually...
3 runs? What the hell?
Speaking of our upcoming Mariners hate episode, Sean O'Neill said every run scored against the Mariners is worth 3 runs.
Yeah, he did say that.
And that's how it feels.
Is how it feels.
Yeah.
Because they score 1 run and you're like, oh, maybe we can come back from that. They score 2 runs and you're like, I don't think it's going to happen.
And
they score 3 runs and you're like, this game's completely over.
And on the other side, the pitcher gives up 1 run and you're like, oh, we can overcome that. They give up 2 runs and you're like, oh, crap, this is going to be a rough one. 3 runs and you're like, well, this game's over. That sucks.
It's also not new.
That's still a quality
It's the same issue over and since the core was broken up in the early 2000s.
In the early 2000s. Oh, yeah, you're right. Way back then. You're
It's
talking
been
about
the same story over and over and over again.
Yep.
Is it possible that it is the park and not anyone else?
Okay, so we need to talk about
We
that.
actually
even
just had this
possible?
conversation on the way out here.
Which was I wanted it to be like fresh in our heads. Andrew, can it only be the park?
I don't know.
Because
That's my question.
So
I'm
here-
not a baseball person.
Let's bring this up. I wanted to talk about Erector Set connects like that guy and how a big body, which I am not in a softball game, get in the way of umpires' calls.
You said erector.
Erector Set Connect. Was it an Xbox Connect? Is that what it was? It was an Xbox Connect?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't know what's
There was
happening.
something.
Xbox Connect was like that thing that would detect
track your motion.
Yeah.
And it was like always on. And
An
people were
erector
like,
set was like metal pieces that you connect together with screws and
I
stuff.
mixed up erect and connect. I'm sorry.
That's very confusing for everyone.
Erections are confusing.
I knew you couldn't help yourself.
Sorry.
I was just gonna
I've
leave
been
it.
so good lately.
I was just gonna leave it open.
I've been so
Did
good
you see
lately.
my face when you looked up? I was
Yeah.
just waiting for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Andrew, can a park be so hard to hit at that it not only breaks you in that park, but then it screws up your mechanics so bad that it breaks you
can't hit in other parks.
Exactly. And then it breaks you so bad that it is rare that you get another chance to hit for another team. Because that seems like what it's done.
Like the way the Seahawks used to break
Mariners,
teams for the following week.
The Mariners break people.
A lot of players leave the Mariners and play better.
Some. I would say it's probably 50-50.
Really? Okay.
And I think...
that makes sense because it makes sense that I would only notice the Kelnick's playing great again. Great.
Young players.
Kelnick's playing well.
Kelnick's playing
Kelnick
okay.
is playing way better than
I
Julio.
mean, if Kelnick's playing the same as Julio.
Yeah, didn't we figure that Kelnick is playing basically the same as Julio?
Yeah.
Was when?
There's been a recent video that was put
Julio's out.
I sent you this on Instagram,
I see what you're
I think.
Anyway, Abraham Toro. That's the other thing. It takes the young players. You have to be young enough for a team to be like, we'll take the time.
Yeah.
Colton Wong, broken. He's done.
Out of the league.
Out of the league.
Is he out of the league right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's multiple players who, if they're older, they're just done. If they're younger, if it's Abraham Toro, Jesse Winker took a whole year of still being garbage after he left the Mariners. Now he's a productive player again.
Yeah.
Abraham Toro took multiple years being garbage, and now he's a productive player again.
Meanwhile,
there is something going
Eugenio
on.
Isn't playing well now that he left, is he?
He's not
believe-
great.
you talking
He
about
started hot. He
Yeah.
started hot. He's not doing great now. I bet next year he's probably going to be fine.
But a lot of that has to do with his defense, because doesn't it?
Is he not good at defense anymore?
Well, he was.
He was
good at defense
amazing
before he came
That's true. Yeah.
to Seattle. So it
That
made up,
okay. He was a good he was an okay third baseman.
Okay.
The reason why his defense looked bad before he got here is Cincinnati had so many injuries that he was playing shortstop.
Okay.
And he was not a shortstop.
Okay.
We've all seen Eugenio, not a shortstop. But he came here and got elite at defense. Just like Josh Rojas. I mean, Rojas is playing elite third baseman defense right now. He was an okay second baseman before he came here.
Okay.
Their infield coach is legit. Their pitching coach is legit. Whoever's teaching hitting,
It's clearly not legit.
it
So I
can't
guess
just. That's what I'm saying, though. It can't
only
just
thing-
be the park, right?
only-
It can't just be the park.
The only
Climate
thing
change, probably.
as far as the park has to go, or the only thing regarding the park that I have is how Teoscar was taught. He talked about how the batter's eye. It was it. I don't understand what he was saying, but it sounds like he was saying that it was off center and angled, and it really messed with his ability to pick up pitches.
Dude, I need to listen to that interview.
I don't
Because
even remember. This was before this season started.
because a batter's eye is super important.
Yeah,
I've
that's-
never heard.
That's the.
Yeah,
this
if a
is
batter
the
didn't have
only
eyes, that
person-
would be really
this
bad.
Is, Teoscar talking about it is the only person that I have heard talking about the
Everybody talks about the
Batter.
marine layer.
yes.
Interesting. Because Teoscar is the one person who hasn't really been broken after he immediately
Yeah.
after he left. Him and
Like-
maybe Adrian Beltre.
And
Remember
to be-
Richie Sexton?
He wasn't terrible here, was he?
Sexton was gone after he was done here too.
He was. He
was older
not
though,
as
right?
good.
Yeah,
as,
every older player who leaves here, but Beltre was in that he was supposed to be prime of his career.
Yeah.
And then when he left here, he was awesome. He basically was awesome in LA, came here, was and then was awesome in Texas. Teoscar started out really slow. At the end of the year, he was pretty much what he normally is,
Yeah,
which is
like
a
he
guy who
wasn't-
strikes out a lot but also hits a lot of nukes.
It felt like he adjusted and was roughly what you could expect from him.
Exactly.
It didn't feel like a disappointment. It just felt like, well, we can't pay extra to keep you around.
Yeah, and then he went to LA, where he gets to be the 7 hitter.
Yeah.
And they don't care if he strikes out as long as he hits a bunch of bombs. And that's what he does.
I'll give you another one. How far back do you want to go?
Let's keep going. Safe, as long as it's Safeco Field related.
Remember Jeff Cirillo?
T-Mobile Park, Daniel.
Jeff Cirillo. Let's talk about this for a second, because Jeff Cirillo. I got stats right in front of me.
Okay, before
He was a .319 hitter when he came to Seattle.
Before you say this, though, Jeff Cirillo is the interesting test case, because not only did he come to Safeco, but he started out at Coors Field.
Okay.
So
But
he
he
started
also-
out
It
at
sounds
Mile
like a
High.
good feel.
He didn't start out there. He played 6 years in Milwaukee.
Oh.
Still a kind of a bandbox.
Okay.
Known as a hitter's park, but not, you're right. It's not Coors Field. Coors Field is known for making people's numbers look
They
amazing.
had to humidify their balls because there were too many home runs.
Your favorite sentence.
He started his career with 6 years in Milwaukee, played 2 years in Colorado.
Yeah.
Batted,
Okay.
He was a
I didn't know that.
He batted his last couple years in Milwaukee. He batted .321 and .326,
He was so good.
and he was a career. I will never forget. I forget so many important things. I
Yeah.
will never forget for the rest of my life that Jeff Cirillo was a .319 career hitter.
Yeah.
When he came to Seattle,
Yep.
he batted .249 and then .205.
Jeez.
Then he went to San Diego, batted .213. Went to Milwaukee again, batted .281, and then batted .319. So it took him like 2 years of getting back into it before he could get back to who he was.
And that was a different coaching staff.
Yeah.
So that tells me it's the park, not the coaching.
Is it possible
Climate change.
that it's
Climate
a
change.
supernatural curse?
And steroids.
A supernatural curse.
Demons?
I say we bring that into the
I'm
conversation.
just like
I'm in
the
now.
curse of the Bambino
Is Sasquatch
is a
involved?
well-known. Like if the Red
the
Sox,
Trident.
if the Red Sox could be actually
It's Davy
cursed,
Jones. It's Davy Jones.
Is it possible that the Mariners are literally actually cursed?
It's about time we got this show into the supernatural realm.
Yeah.
Justin and I
I'm
are
sorry.
now in our
I'm
sweet spot.
Sorry to everyone.
Suck it, listeners, as Justin would like to say. You're now in our
you.
house.
Screw you, listeners.
Oh yeah, not suck it.
Yeah.
I kind of took that
They
to
kind
another
of mean
level.
the same thing, though.
Real quick, Francis says Bronny James Rookie of the Year collision course. I don't see that
Well, he
happening.
went 2 for 9 and scored 4 points in his first
Sounds like
summer
the
league
rookie
game.
Who did he end up with?
Lakers.
Shocker.
Yeah.
That's not a conspiracy.
Wait, wasn't?
Then
yeah,
Francis,
I thought that was off. That was
I assumed
that was
but
the
I didn't
only
know.
thing I knew about the draft,
Yeah.
Daniel.
Sorry. Then Francis says when Babe Gobwell approaches the high jump pit, that what technique is used by him to leap over the bar?
Hashtag stump Daniel.
I don't know. And then he says, who invented the technique? Hashtag stump Daniel. Dang it.
Should I start the music?
No, not yet. But bring that back up and stump Daniel, because that's a good one. They used to dive over head first. And then he says, that person's alma mater?
Oh no.
Dang it. Who's he referencing when we said
It's going to be a Beaver, right? It's got to be.
Oh, I was just assuming it was gonna be
Tar Heel?
Dame.
or
Notre Dame?
were we talking about someone good? Because if we were talking about someone good,
Oh, I thought
That's
he
what it
meant
was.
who invented the technique.
He's
and
talking
that
about someone
person-
who invented a technique
Yeah.
that's been used for decades, right?
Yeah.
then it's probably
It's probably Notre
Notre
Dame
Dame.
because
Yeah.
they've only been good at sports like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
They're not good at sports anymore.
that checks out.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we got Francis caught up, keep sending us this stuff, Francis. You've been on point today.
Also, I hate you. And I love you.
Yeah, that checks out. So Jeff Cirillo, I did not know that because remember the other thing is he was a giant choker.
Yeah, he was.
Because
for
he
sure.
tied the record for most games without an error. And then
Oh,
literally the next
wow.
game, he choked and made an error.
Brutal. That just makes
And
me
it was a
feel bad
routine.
for him.
It was a routine play.
Absolute routine play.
It was like-
yeah, it's burned in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll remember it forever.
that just
This is
makes
back
me
when I
feel
used to
bad
actually
for
watch
him.
baseball
Like,
games almost
Dude,
every
I
day.
think that was like when I went to that. Remember that game I went to you? Or went to you. I went with you and your dad,
Yeah,
and I don't remember the end of it.
yeah,
That was the problem.
yeah.
Yeah, that was around that era.
Sounds about right.
Yep. So that
Dude, I
tells
totally
me,
forgot that.
dude,
So,
Jeff Cirillo makes
we
me
were
think
going
that
to
it's the
that-
park, not the coaching. Because on our way up here, I was thinking the coaching had to play a part in it.
yeah,
But it's been happening forever.
we didn't sit together at that game, did we?
No.
Did we? I think we had tickets and you had tickets.
And I rode with you?
And you rode with us because we happened to be going to the same game.
Interesting. I don't remember that at all. I don't remember
Andrew,
much of that
were you
night.
there?
No.
Okay.
I think this was before I was cool enough to hang out with you guys.
Or did you not remember it either?
That's possible, too.
In my head, my dad and I went to that game, and you guys went to that game, and you guys were riding in our car.
I spewed some nonsense from the back of the vehicle at the end of that.
Do you remember also how hard it was to get out of the parking garage after that game was over?
I do remember
because we
that.
lost the car. We had to find the car. You remember this?
Barely. I remember it took forever to leave.
I could be wrong, but I remember Andrew as being the one who found the car.
Really?
And he probably wasn't even there.
Wait, when was this?
Real long time ago.
It was a long time ago, but Andrew finding the car, I think Andrew was there because I wasn't by myself in the backseat. I don't think.
I think he was there.
Yeah. Andrew, were we hanging out in the pen? Because that would also explain some things.
You're asking me a question about something I do not remember.
It was
Francis
like 20
says,
years ago.
Francis says, when you talk M's, I control more relevant topics. Shut up, Francis.
Bases are loaded, 2 outs. Polanco's at the plate.
Oh, gosh. So you mean a strikeout's coming?
Well, that could be anyone.
Shut up.
Any single Mariner, that could be what that means.
Yeah, but Polanco's like the prime candidate. Even Coach Service. Coach.
Why'd you spit Coach like that?
I don't know.
Manager.
Is it because you want him fired now?
No, I don't think he's
Because
doing
like a
anything
month
wrong.
ago, you said Steve Bovey was ridiculous for saying that.
I think
Service isn't doing
Service
anything
is
wrong.
Awesome. I think he's good. If we're gonna point fingers at problems in the Mariners organization, it's way higher up than the manager.
Can we start calling it the junior curse? Because
yeah,
they built a park
that's kind
that
of what I'm
sucked
going
for hitting home
Daniel.
runs.
That's
And so it's the Griffey curse.
is
Just
it?
like the Bambino curse. Right? Like they built a park that was so bad at hitting home runs that someone who was awesome at hitting home runs was like, yeah, I'm going to go somewhere else.
But it took
I
him
wanna
like
go
2
closer to my
decades to
family.
admit. Didn't he not admit that it was because of the ballpark until like...
Well, it was a combination. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say it was a combination because he went closer to home. He went where his dad
Not all
was.
the way home, though.
Not all the You're right. Not
It was
all
like
the way
halfway home.
It was halfway home, but also an organization that
But if
that
he would've
treated
had
his
a
dad
good
well.
park,
It was an organization that treated his dad well.
so the Mariners didn't treat him well.
Not with that baseball park.
I'm just saying
They should have built a windshield and said, "Hey, nukes are open." And Polanco just popped out to the third baseman. Sweet.
I mean,
So
are we
we're
talking
going to
about
the 10th inning.
The organization that also let Randy Johnson and A-Rod go?
Okay.
Well,
They traded Randy
was a
Johnson.
pitcher, so that's different.
They traded Randy,
And then he
which
won 2
ended
World
up being
Series,
done.
so-
They traded Randy, which was dumb because he was a generational Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And they made the wrong decision. A-Rod's a different case. Like he went to the most money absolutely possible.
So pay him the most money.
So we should have paid him more money.
Yeah. Yes.
Is it a
Yeah,
is
you're
it an
right.
A-Rod
Because
because we didn't pay him?
do you know the weird thing is you can find one player in Mariners history who has numbers who rival Ken Griffey or are even better than him in some case. And the Mariners didn't pay him. Did they know something?
Did they know that
it
he was on
A-Rod?
steroids?
Yeah.
Because he went on and had like 8 amazing years
Dude.
before anyone found out he was on steroids.
The guy was
I'm going to go ahead
Nutso.
and say that anyone at that point in in baseball, if they were not signing someone because they're like, oh, they were juicing, they were
dumb.
dumb.
Because they
That's the
also
thing,
had
yes,
Brett Boone.
Because it's like, no, you're just dumb.
Brett
you should
Boone-
have signed him anyway.
Brett Boone was a little roided out freak. Like,
His
I'm just
brother
going to say it.
is the manager of the Yankees.
Yeah, Aaron
Didn't he
Bleepin'
just get
Boone.
fired?
Weird.
Got fired? Did he not get fired?
It's weird as heck.
Unless
to
it
me.
just happened, Aaron Bleepin' Boone is still there.
It just
He's
cracks me
rumored
up.
to be fired like every week.
Yeah.
John
it's New
Boy,
York.
because John Boy always is talking about the Yankees, and I watch a lot of John Boy
Yeah.
media stuff, and so every time they're talking about it, like, oh, Aaron Boone, and I'm like, That's Brett Brune's brother. That's so weird.
Did you read the way Francis spelled Cirillo?
Yeah, that was great. Jeff Cirillo, spelled Geoffsirlloh. Never heard of him. I have no frame of reference.
I feel like if you had paid any attention to baseball in the late 90s and early
Did he
2000s, you
ever
know who Jeff
play-
Cirillo
Yeah.
is.
The Yankees?
No, he was National League and then
You know what?
Mariners.
Francis has told us before that he never pays attention
Yeah.
to baseball till October, and
Francis-
Mariners haven't played baseball in October.
Francis does not watch baseball. He watches the Yankees after October.
Yep, that's true. It's crazy though, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the one thing the Mariners were missing. I remember saying this in 2001 when I was 12 years old. I said, hey, you know what would be great if the Mariners had, because they had this amazing season where they won 116 games. But you know what I said when they lost in the series? I was like, you know what would be great if they wouldn't have let Ken Griffey and Alex Rodriguez go in the previous 2 years. Alex Rodriguez left in 2000. Ken Griffey Jr. left in 1999.
And maybe that's the curse then.
And that's all they needed was one dude who could come up and hit a nuke in a huge part of the game. And they had a bunch of amazing pieces, but not one dude who was like, yeah, I'm better than literally everybody. And they had two people who were better than everybody on that same freaking team.
Well, could you imagine that rotation with Randy Johnson? If Freddie Garcia, at his peak of his powers, was the number 2?
They had to trade somebody to get Freddie.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he was one of those deals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Climate change.
Climate change is definitely the reason why the Mariners
Andrew,
can't
Francis says I'm right. I don't know what right about, but he says I'm right.
about him
About what
not
you
watching
watch.
baseball till
Oh,
October.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Andrew,
Which is why he spent a lot of time not watching Yankees baseball, because they
Andrew-
missed a lot of playoffs
Yeah.
in a row.
Andrew, Justin and I have come up with not only what we think the theory is, but what will put our podcast on the map nationally.
Uh-oh. You
The
probably
Mariners-
shouldn't say that.
Yeah, you're right. The Mariners.
It's so fitting that you burped right before you said it. Go ahead.
Let me burp real quick. The Mariners' struggles hitting is climate change.
And
Because in 2000 and what was it? Steroids.
Yeah.
So we're gonna write an article called "Climate Change and Steroids."
Who's going to write the article?
Why maybe I will.
Okay.
I'm not going to.
I don't do squat.
Daniel should write this article.
I'll write it and I'll send it to Andrew to edit,
Okay.
and then to Justin to actually.
And then I'll send
Make
it
it
to
happen.
Rob, and Rob will.
There we go. It'll put us on the map. That is why the Mariners have not been able to hit since 2001. Climate change
Okay.
and steroids.
Okay. Climate change and steroids. Steroids aren't allowed anymore. Climate change also not allowed anymore.
Yeah.
It's ruining baseball.
It's not allowed. Haven't you heard our governor? Climate change is not allowed.
Everyone is very anti-climate
Stop it.
change.
Hey, climate change, just stop.
Yeah. And that's
Electric cars!
that's why we can't hit anymore. Climate change and steroids.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to this article.
Written
I will
by-
write the crap out of this article.
Should we hire
I
Rob?
need to take the Mariners game off of
I
my
might
phone.
actually tease you about this because I kind of want to read this article.
My dad once told me that I needed to write an article about Pacific Northwest baseball teams and how climate change affects them.
Francis wants to know how many World Series did the Mariners make with their stacked rosters?
Oh, yeah, that's a 0. Francis, we know that.
Yeah, dude. Come up with a hard question. This
Daniel
guy.
is trying to play it off all cool, but you should have seen the way his hands twitched. Because that was the closest to a
It's
fist.
time for Justin's favorite part of the show.
Serving questions up on a silver platter where the points are made up and the rules don't matter. Time for Stump Daniel.
Stump Daniel is brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz, and I maintain that was the closest to a fist I've ever seen Daniel make.
I would have sworn before this moment that Daniel would never be excited for a Stump Daniel.
remember, Andrew, I wanted to take over this part of the show to ask Justin Orioles trivia questions because he didn't know jack squat when I was asking him about the Orioles.
But is he
I knew
embarrassed by
some of
that?
it.
Dude,
No.
the Blue Jays are
Yeah,
trash.
that's the thing. He's not embarrassed by it.
I don't
that's
have shame.
the problem.
I don't
That's
have
true.
shame about it.
You have
Daniel,
some shame about the Tar Heels.
Daniel. I said I don't have shame about the Orioles.
You're right,
but they are my team. Dang it! Where's Hannah? She picked that up.
Yeah.
Give it back to you. Daniel, when we were on our way out here, we were talking about the Orioles.
Oh, no. Do I have to answer Orioles questions?
I was really impressed, actually, because you said, hey, just as fun.
Yeah.
Like, hey, pull up the last Orioles box score. I bet I could tell you their starting lineup or
Yeah.
some amount of it.
Yeah.
You got 6 guys in their starting lineup.
I did.
And their positions. With a little bit of prompting. But still, you got it. Like,
Yeah.
and that's a team that's not our team.
I got more of the guys than the position they play.
So, true. But you did get it wasn't like you didn't know their position. You would get it, but it was often on the second try.
That's true.
Okay.
Thank
so,
you.
what I want to know is how well do you know your team?
Oh, no.
So I'm
Don't
going to
do
go
it.
through
Don't do it.
statistical categories
Don't
for
do it.
your Seattle Mariners
Oh, okay.
and see if not Oregon State.
I thought you were going to do Oregon State, and I was going to be
Oregon
real
State-
screwed.
Oregon State players in MLB would be an amazing
Ooh,
someday.
in MLB,
Yeah.
I'd be about that.
So
If you gave me their roster right now, I'd be like, Travis Bonzana? Travis Bonzana. Travis Bonzana? And then I'd be like, is that how you say his name? I don't know.
5 years from now, we're going to be doing the Travis Bazana gets a $250 million deal episode. It's happening.
I
That
don't
guy's a
think
freak.
And it
I don't
probably
think
won't
so.
be for the Mariners.
No, it won't be for the Mariners.
No, because they don't pay that much.
And they don't draft that high.
Well, and he'll be in arbitration at that point. So whatever team he's drafted to will be giving him a Julio Rodriguez-like deal.
Ouch. Gosh.
Daniel, I'm going to go through some statistical categories, and you're going to tell me which Mariner leads the team in this
What a
category.
catch.
Yeah!
Attaboy, Dom Canzone. Don't act like you're injured. You're not my age.
I like calzones.
They're delicious.
Calzones are amazing.
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Daniel, I'm going to start you off with an easy one.
Okay.
Which Mariner leads the team in hits?
I'm going to say... Oh, gosh, they pull the tunes sometimes. This is a tough one. It's between two different players, so this isn't my guess. I'm talking through it.
Okay.
It's between Julio Rodriguez and Josh Rojas.
Okay. They are 1 and 2.
Oh, ho, ho! Or are they 2 and 1?
I'm going to say Julio Rodriguez.
It's Julio, and it's not close.
Okay.
Julio has 87 hits. Rojas has 63.
Oh, wow.
But Julio also has more than 100 at bats more than Rojas does.
Yeah.
So you're 1 for 1. Daniel, who leads the team in doubles? There's a tie at the top, so there's 2 potential answers.
Okay.
And I'll give you a point if you get either of them.
It's not Julio.
Who else is it not?
Who else is it not? It's
Yeah.
not Mitch Garver.
Okay.
It's not Jorge Polanco.
What if I told you Garver's in the top 3?
That makes me mad.
Yeah, because he's increased his batting average to 175. He's so bad. He's so bad. Okay.
I'm
has the
gonna
most
say
doubles?
the most doubles. Josh Rojas.
Rojas.
Baseball is life.
Baseball is life. Rojas is tied for the most doubles.
Let's go with Luke Raley.
Dylan Moore.
Dang it, Dylan Moore. Totally said that.
Daniel, who has the most triples? This is a niche. This is a very specific thing. It's kind of a weird stat.
Luke Raley.
Luke Raley is tied for second at 2. The correct answer is Dylan Moore,
Oh, Dylan Moore.
who has 14 doubles, tied for the team lead, and also 3 triples.
Dang. Dylan Moore for MVP.
Also, honestly, with 8 home runs, he might be the most prolific extra base hitter on this team.
From what you're telling me right now, he absolutely is. Does he have the most extra base hits?
I don't know that for a fact, but I would say
the Mariners gave up a run.
Based on what I'm looking at, I'd say yes. Let's see. Garver has 23 because he has 11 dingers. Nope, Garver has more.
Okay, because he's got nukes.
Yeah, he's got nukes.
Dang nukes.
So, bad job by you there. I'm going to take a point away.
Dude, you know that the
You have
bullpen's
3 right and
tired when you got Colin Snyder pitching the 10th freaking inning. Sorry.
Let me give you an easy one.
Also,
Who leads the Mariners in home runs?
Vlad Guerrero Jr. is chunky, and he knows how to slide, and Julio doesn't. Sorry. Anyway. Who's got the most what?
Home runs.
Cal freaking Big Dumper Raleigh.
Calvin Big Dumper Raleigh has 15 home runs.
He's got lots of nukes.
Mitch Garver is second with 11.
He's also not an all-star. Gilbert is our only all-star this year.
So far.
Well,
Yeah. That it's so ridiculous.
That's pretty gross.
People have not voted for Cal Raleigh in the Northwest, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
Cal is so good.
Yeah, and he's like number 9 on the All-Star rankings.
So not
People
not
in the
appreciated.
Seattle area should be ashamed, myself included, because I haven't voted.
Daniel, who leads in RSBI?
Cal freaking Raleigh.
It's Cal Raleigh, and it's not even close.
Not close.
51. Haniger is second with 34.
Haniger's second?
With 34.
That dude barely plays!
Want to know who's third?
Josh Rojas. Julio Rodriguez.
It's going to make you mad.
Jorge Polanco?
Mitch Garver.
Oh no!
Garver has 33.
No!
33.
I mean, we paid him the big bucks to come in here and get RSBI, right?
And he's doing it. So whose fault is that?
Yes, Francis. We know how many exploded testicles the Mariners have had in their history.
So
5.
And we know that it's more of their playoff appearances.
No, it's the same.
It's part of the
It's the
curse,
same
though,
number now because they
probably.
made the playoffs last year.
Don't you think it's part of the curse?
Yeah, it's part of the curse for
the
sure.
testicle curse.
Yeah.
Should we call it that instead of the junior curse?
Maybe the junior testicle curse.
Testicle curse does have a better ring to it.
The testy curse.
Terse.
Can we go to the river already?
Walks, Daniel.
Walks. Who has
Who
the
leads
most
the
walks?
Mariners in walks?
They're so trash at it. Gosh.
It's going to make you mad.
Is it Mitch Garver?
It's Mitch Garver.
So what you're telling me is Mitch Garver is actually earning his money even though his batting average sucks
Yeah.
Let me give you another one.
compared to the rest of the team.
It's the core that's not being good.
Who's the core?
Garver's part of it.
Because Raleigh, I'm sorry.
Ty, Julio,
Ty?
Ty's not been great. Ty, Julio, and Polanco? Ty, Julio. Who's the other core?
Remember
I
when
don't know.
the meat of the lineup was Cano, Cruz, and Seager?
Yeah.
And we were having the conversation about whether it was the best core of a lineup in the American League.
I would murder someone to have prime Cruz.
I've
in
seen
our
it.
lineup.
I've seen Daniel murder someone.
What?
Daniel, who leads the Mariners in strikeouts?
In strikeouts?
Yeah.
Joke, people.
There's like a million
Wasn't a
candidates
joke.
here.
Wasn't a joke.
Julio Rodriguez.
I'm sorry, but that's incorrect.
Is it also Mitch
What?
Garver?
It's not. It's Cal Raleigh.
That makes sense.
That checks out.
108 strikeouts by Cal Raleigh. But Daniel, let's move on to...
Let's make Daniel depressed for 600, Justin.
Let's move on to a more positive category.
Is it?
Is it really?
Of the starting pitchers who have been in the Mariners rotation this season,
Yeah.
who leads in ERA?
Logan Gilbert.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, but that's incorrect. It's Brian Wu.
Who's been so good?
So good, but also
barely in the rotation.
barely in the rotation.
He's been there though. That's
Wu has a 1.7.
Wu has been amazingly good and also amazingly good for like barely making each start.
I found the exact right button to really make Daniel mad. Because
I'm so close to swearing now you don't even know.
realistically speaking, Logan Gilbert,
Dude, do you
phenomenal
know?
season. He has a 2.91 ERA
Yeah.
with
All-star
108 strikeouts compared to only 24 walks.
Hey, hold up. Our
But
second
also-
best RSBI leader is up to bat right now with a fast guy at second.
Daniel, do you want to take a shot at Logan
I want
Gilbert's
to take a
win-loss
shot
record?
at punching you in the face.
Do you want to take a shot at Logan Gilbert's win-loss record?
It's probably something garbage like 5-4 or something like that.
You're really close. It's 5-5.
Mother.
Worse than you thought for the guy who has a sub-3 ERA on a first-place team. And a 5-5 record. But Wu, on the other hand, 3-1. So
Oh,
This
that
is-
got called the ball.
this
That
will
is a
conclude.
lucky break.
This will conclude Stump Daniel.
Mitch Haniger is currently up with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Stump Daniel's over.
He is our second RSBI leader, according to Stump Daniel.
Stop the music.
Andrew is too busy watching the Mariners game to stop the music, so you can
Stop the music.
stop it. That was maybe the most upsetting Stump Daniel I've ever had.
Yeah, I'm getting emotional, not gonna lie.
Which was the most upsetting part? Was it Wu?
I mean, apparently.
Was it Raleigh with the most strikeouts?
No, because he's a catcher.
Yeah.
Like, even in...
I feel like Raleigh
Even-
has completely filled any reasonable
Even 15
expectation
years
of
ago.
him.
Even 15 years ago, Cal Raleigh is a good catcher.
Say his name,
Yeah.
Andrew. Andrew, say his name.
Cal Raleigh.
Say his name, Daniel.
Cal Raleigh? I say Raleigh,
I
and
say
he says
Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Okay.
I think Andrew's probably right here.
Okay.
I'm not gonna argue that either way.
Mitch Haniger blows freaking chunks. He just had a
no.
3-1 count and then struck out.
But he's
All
going up
you have
against
to do is hit
Cabrera.
the ball.
You don't know who that is.
No, I don't. I have no idea. No. I didn't even know who the Orioles starting shortstop was. It's Gunnar Henderson, by the way.
Yeah. He's got 27 dingers, and Julio has 8.
And also Gunner's batting like
To be
290.
fair, Julio has been awful.
Hey, the Mariners'
Hey,
best
Dylan Moore.
player is up.
He gets-
Dylan Moore.
gets-
The Mariners' best hitter is up.
He's almost
Nine-
their leader in extra base hits if it weren't for Mitch Garver.
He's batting ninth.
Actually, I think that was where you started to get really upset.
Yes.
When I was talking about Dylan Moore having a tremendous amount of base hits or extra base
He has
hits.
46 hits this season, 21 singles, 14 doubles, 3 triples, and 8 home runs.
And he just
And he
got a
just
base
hit
hit.
a single.
Is it a single or is
Yep.
that an error?
That should be
It
it.
doesn't freaking matter, Justin. He got
I mean,
on first, so that's a
it-
single.
Hit the fielder.
I think he should be
I
a single
hate
because he
errors.
hit it freaking hard.
Okay, well,
Dylan Manscaped Moore is the best offensive player on our freaking team.
to be honest, it doesn't also really matter
No.
Oh, it ate him up.
because they still have a runner on second in scoring position, and he
Ate
didn't
him
get
up.
to, he didn't get to move forward.
And
Why didn't he? He could have.
Could he have?
he probably could have beat
know.
the
It's
shortstop
pretty close.
there.
He could have.
Is that
but he
Ryan
would have
Bliss?
Had to run
Is
like
that
an
Vlad
idiot.
Guerrero Jr.?
No.
Is that Bo Bichette?
I don't know who their third baseman is.
JP's
I look at a
pretty
guy and I'm
clutch,
like, is that
guys.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. or Bo Bichette? I'm not sure. They look exactly the same.
Bo Bichette sounds like a Star Wars character.
It really
Because
does.
it's Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette.
And then when you see it like written down, you're like, oh, it's Bo Bichette.
yeah.
It's like when you go get a boba tea
Yeah.
from the boba stand,
And they
and
pop
then you
in
have
your
a
mouth.
really bad boba shit afterwards. You
You've had some good ones today, Justin, but that was the best.
Thank you.
I don't even remember all the stats that you just asked me, but
I remember that it made you really angry.
let's talk about some slow pitch softball.
Okay.
Oh no.
Andrew Gross.
But before we do that, wait,
what?
did we already take our second?
We already
commercial?
took our second
Okay.
break.
It's in the show sheet here. So
Yeah, well,
that was a bad job by me.
bad job by you.
And you remembered the way things were supposed to go.
Sure.
Honestly, I feel like that's a win.
Andrew Gross, Justin and I have a story to tell you, and it's the story of Tuesday night.
I've never seen anything like this in my life, and that is not hyperbole.
Does
So-
anyone want to hear this?
I'm going to start with the first game. The first game, we were playing a objectively crappy team. But we
Worse
could,
than us.
We could not quite put them away for the 10-run rule.
Yeah.
Until the 7th inning. We won by 10 runs, but not till the 7th inning. So it took
Okay.
a
Okay.
long time.
We had a
Yeah.
couple of really bad defensive innings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not Daniel or me, but other
Like-
people did.
Yeah, other people.
So you were significantly better, but you were choking on defense.
Exactly. So
Okay.
we could not quite get the 10-run rule.
Okay.
So the game lasted.
Oh,
We
no.
ended up winning 21-11.
That sounds right.
So it took a long time.
Okay.
The other teams 10-runned each other. So they were waiting for us for like 45
And
minutes.
very
Yeah.
rested.
So
Yeah.
fast. Like just
The second game, though, Andrew, is where it gets bizarre. So we're playing against a good team, but really, they're missing like one key player.
Okay.
You know Jason Garman.
Yes.
He had shoulder surgery.
That sucks.
So because he's not playing this year, their whole lineup shifts one
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
So they go from being a good team to kind of an team
Okay.
with one person.
But they have good players though.
They've got Piggy.
He also
They've got
pitches.
Sean. He
That
also
hurts.
pitches.
They got Drew Adams.
Drew Adams, maybe the best outfielder in the league.
Yeah.
He's right up there with a guy from Spivey's team who's legit.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah.
Like, annoying how good he is.
Like too legit
Daniel
to quit.
hates this guy.
Kind of, except for he's a super nice guy.
That's the worst.
But Andrew,
Yeah.
in the second inning, I come up and I've got a runner on first.
Okay.
I hit a line drive in the outfield.
Okay.
I pull a your dad. I stretch it to a double.
Yeah.
Nolan Anderson is on second?
I think
first?
so, yeah.
He goes to third.
Okay.
I stretch it to a double. Throw comes into Piggy. Piggy tries to tag me out. I'm safe. Nolan decides, hey, throw's going to second. I'm going to score from third. Piggy comes up, fires it home.
Didn't have a great shot at getting Nolan.
No.
I think Nolan was going to score either
Nolan
way.
was probably
Did
going
you
to score.
take third.
No. That would be fairly
You'll
normal.
find out why. That would be a normal play.
I feel like that's
The pitcher,
Okay.
Sean, ducks
Okay.
into a crouch.
Yeah,
Like
full ball as
crouch
low as a pitcher can crouch.
without lying on the ground.
Yeah.
Piggy drills him in the freaking head
Throwing
no.
home.
as hard as he can.
Oh,
Throwing
no.
home.
Throwing home from second base. So about a
Friendly fire.
15-foot throw.
Yeah.
Drills him
I
in
think
the
he was
noggin.
actually like slightly in front of second base.
Yeah. Drills him in the
Wow.
freaking
Okay.
head. I've never heard... I hit your wife in the head with a throw once.
Yeah, that's true. That
This
definitely
was-
happened.
Half of that.
Okay.
I flinched so
To
hard.
be fair, you threw from the outfield.
Yeah. I flinched so hard, I pulled a hamstring.
Yeah.
That is how I got hurt.
Watching the other team's pitcher get hit.
Yeah.
And then he
that
didn't
is-
move.
That
Like,
is how I got hurt.
Daniel, go score. You're on second base, and the pitcher
Wow!
who should have been catching the ball is lying on the ground. in
I don't
pain.
even know where the ball went. I
went-
flinched so hard, I hurt my hamstring.
It went out of play on the first base side. I was
it
wondering
really?
why you didn't run.
score.
Wait, it went out of play?
Yeah.
So I should have been on third?
Yeah.
I didn't go to third.
Nope.
I didn't know what
Well,
was
you
going
were
on.
injured.
Daniel was so broken by this play that he forgot the rules of baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stayed on second. The guy stayed in and pitched.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
even played outfield later in the game.
Good for him.
He did.
Bonkers. This game ended up being a
In the
34-33 game.
Wow.
I've never seen a combined score of 67 before.
I've seen teams get into the 30s.
I've never
I've
seen
never
both
seen two
teams.
teams get into the 30s.
It was insane.
Yeah.
I'm so glad Justin was there because he can help me tell this story.
Given that the other team's pitcher was concussed, I'm kind of tempted to say that that team was probably better.
So I also gave up like 8 runs in 1 inning as I pitched after I got hurt.
But you weren't
Andrew,
even concussed.
my hamstring was hurt. The way my leg was.
See the way my leg was. See what happened was.
This Francis says. Oh,
No,
never
he
mind.
hasn't
That's
said
an old one.
anything
That's
new.
an old one.
Old news.
But also, there was a play where a guy was so out where he was literally sitting on the ground,
Not all the way.
a foot away from second base, sitting there, sitting on the ground,
Being tagged.
tagged.
Did he get out?
No, he was safe.
Because here's the fun part. So that was a play where the ball got thrown to second and the tag was played.
Justin threw the ball.
I threw the ball
Just a second.
to second.
to
and
Jimmy or Jimmy?
I think it was Jimmy.
Was it Jimmy or Jimmy?
I think it was Jimmy.
Okay.
and
Might have been Jimmy, though.
Jimmy and Jimmy were playing second and short.
Yeah.
My fault.
And then after it was over, like
That's
while we were
poor
waiting,
planning.
because like dust was settling, Jimmy came over to me and he was like, "Hey, good throw."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, the guy's standing on second. He was obviously out, but the guy was standing on second, and the umpire hadn't said anything. I
Like
was
literally sitting on the ground a foot away from second base with someone tagging him.
I was like, did he call him out? And then Jimmy was like, "Oh yeah, he's out. He's out. He's out. Whatever." We all go back to our spots.
Turns out he
And then
wasn't
I was
out.
like, "Hey, ref or ump, can
This
we get
guy's
clarification?
still standing.
Is this guy out?" And the ump had the nerve to say, "No, he's safe because the pitcher was in the way of the play."
Apparently, I'm real fat, and I got in his eyesight.
For like the 5
Daniel,
seconds that the guy was sitting
you
when he
should know
didn't,
better than to get in the way of the umpire.
he didn't make it all the way to the base.
Yep.
Which means he was sitting there with the tag being applied to him for like, I'm not exaggerating, 3 full seconds
At least.
That
before.
does feel like very low effort umping.
Well, I think my opinion is because Nolan, as you mentioned, Nolan scored in front of him.
Yes.
I think the umpire got distracted.
No, Nolan was the different play.
Oh, okay.
That's when the guy got hit in the head.
Okay, there was
Nolan's on our team.
There was. Oh yeah, you're right.
Some other person.
So
scored.
someone else named Nolan
Yeah.
scored from the other team.
We'll go with that.
And scored in front of him. And I think that the umpire got distracted by what was directly in front of him, which
Yep.
is totally understandable.
Yep.
But then instead was like, "Oh shoot, I can't say that." Blame the pitcher.
Yeah, he blamed me.
He blamed
after the inning.
fat old Daniel, who's aged
Hey.
out. Who's aged out of
Ouch!
That's really rude.
You threw an extra adjective into that.
Fat old Daniel.
That's two extra
Anyway,
adjectives.
so anyway, that guy was safe at second, and
Yeah.
you know what? It didn't matter because in the end of the game,
I feel like
I
you
think-
could say that guy
well,
was
hold up.
called safe.
the last inning,
Andrew, the last inning
needs
is
to be
also
described.
interesting.
It needs to be described.
So,
because
Andrew, have you heard of the rollover? Oh, did we just lose? Did the Mariners lose? Oh, wait.
Yeah. Wait, they still get to.
Oh, that's a foul ball.
They still get to. Oh yeah.
So Mitch Garver has a chance to add to his stats, but there's 2 outs.
Oh, he's about to strike out.
Yeah, he's totally striking out. Oh, it's ball 4.
Well, they have an open base, so that makes sense.
So now who gets
You
to
walk
strike out?
You always walk Garver if you have an open base.
So now who's going to strike out to lose the game?
Because 1 out of every 9 times Garver gets a hit.
But when it's a hit, it's an extra base hit.
That's a good point.
He only hits extra. He doesn't hit singles.
Yeah.
He walks, strikes out, or hits extra base
But a
hits.
single probably scores
Oh,
too.
dude,
it's Colorado.
it's Big Dumper.
Oh, it's the big dumper.
He's going to take a deuce all over this.
He does
bitch.
lead the team in strikeouts.
That's a good point. And he just swung at a ball. Attaboy, Cal. Way to continue the trope.
90 miles per hour, was that a fastball?
Dude. The amount of times I've watched the Mariners swing at balls right down the stinking chute and not hit the ball is amazing. Like, that's the thing. When you talk about star players for other teams, they get a ball down the chute and they hit it over the fence.
Raleigh's been
Our
at
team,
260 with runners.
our
this morning.
stars get a ball down the chute and miss. It's amazing. A lot.
Yeah.
But Raleigh, whatever.
Raleigh.
Adley, Cal,
Oh,
Raleigh just
no.
popped up to end the game. And he went to the warning track.
I mean, popped up to the warning track.
He popped up to the warning track, so we lost. So the Mariners suck, and I hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last inning needs to be described because we went into it.
The last inning
Yeah.
of your softball game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing, Andrew. Have you ever heard of the inning flip rule, where when you go into the last inning
Yeah.
and the home team is up, they flip it?
Yeah.
This
Because
falls
then
into the category of the rules where I don't even try to understand it. I'm just like, tell me what to do.
It makes total sense.
I'm out in the field. Okay.
It also was like 9:30, and we were all like, okay, well, if we just hold them to like 9 or fewer
Yeah.
runs,
So Andrew,
we can
we're
win the game.
we're up by 9 runs.
Yeah.
You should be able to hold them to less
The-
than 9.
The
Yeah,
bottom
we
of
should
the
be.
6th inning happens, and we're up by 9 runs. So instead, the umpire's like, hey, instead of you guys hitting while you're up by 9, we'll just flop it.
Yeah.
Which everybody knows.
That makes sense.
Because then all we have to do is hold them to 8 runs, and we win. Andrew Elliott Gross.
Sir.
They scored 11 runs.
Who was pitching?
Not me.
That sucks.
They scored 11
You
runs.
should probably have played better defense.
Both pitching and defense. There was a lot of factors. I'm not blaming any one person, but it was all crap. They scored 11 runs.
That's brutal.
So we were up 31-22
Yeah.
going into the now top of the 7th inning.
Yeah.
Because we flopped it.
Yeah.
We were down 33-31.
Yeah.
So then what happens?
I led off that inning.
Justin sucks butt.
By the way,
He's been playing great.
Big fat
two
booty.
things. One, I was like 4 for 4 in that game going into this.
Justin played amazingly well for having not played for like 12 months.
Second thing, I smoked a line drive into left field.
Right at somebody.
Right at the left fielder.
Yeah.
Rude.
So I got out.
That's rude.
So Justin starts by getting out. The next
I suck.
batter, Robert, was the next batter.
Yeah.
Single.
Yeah.
Nice little single. The third batter, our last batter, pops out.
Out. So we've got 2 outs, down by 2, runner on first.
But now, top of the order, Bryce Whipple smokes a line drive, base hit. So now we
Okay.
got runners on first and second. Bryce is the tying run on first with 2 outs. Our second batter, Nolan Anderson, comes up, hits a ground ball up the middle. Piggy dives for it, stops it, bobbles it a fraction, and you know how fast Bryce Whipple is.
Pretty
Right.
fast. He's pretty fast.
He gets to second base before they can flip it to second base.
Nice. Nicely done.
Should have been out.
Should have been out.
Yeah.
No,
Robert,
he's an athlete.
yeah. Robert on third purposefully dances off third to the point where I'm having an aneurysm. I am screaming at him. Andrew, I kid you not.
Playing games.
I'm screaming at him like my dad coaching third about to black out. I'm screaming, Robert, get on third base. Get on the freaking base. Robert, Robert, Robert. Freaking out.
Yeah.
They throw to third base. Bad throw. Robert scores. They try to throw him out. Bad throw. Bryce scores.
Wow.
Nolan ends up on third. Robert's the real MVP here. So there's
For
2
not
out.
paying attention to the base coach.
No, he was flipping me the deuce. Just like, I don't care about you.
I know
So-
what I'm doing.
They end up with Nolan, who was heads up enough to move all the way to third base. 2 outs, tie game, me up at bat. and
Danny
I'm just
Burgers.
like, Danny Burgers.
Danny Burgers up to bat.
And I was like, all the pressure's off. We
Yeah.
already tied the game.
Yeah.
So I just popped a little line drive into center field, won the game.
Yeah. Smoked a little line drive into center field.
I did kind of
You hit it hard.
I did
Just
hit it
popped
hard.
it. He just popped it.
Popped it.
Just
He
a little,
popped it.
just a little line drive.
Hey, Andrew,
You know-
can you scroll up to the other comments from...
You know, only what Mitch Garver and Carl Raleigh needed to do here. Just throwing that out there. Stop trying to hit freaking nukes and just hit a base hit.
Is that what you
So the question from Francis about the
Mariners suck and I hate them.
about the high jump thing was who was the high jump blah blah blah.
Who created that style?
Well, no, he it was something about like who was the person, right?
Yeah, who was the person who created going over
So
backwards?
what was the first question? Oh,
Basically, who cheated first
Who-
that then
okay.
that made it that way.
what
They're
technique?
like, oh dang, there's not a rule.
What technique is used by Gabe Bodwell to get over the bar? It's called the Fosbury flop.
The Fosbury flop. There we go.
Do you know who invented the Fosbury flop?
I'm
Fosbury.
guessing Fosbury.
Dick Fosbury.
Good old Dick.
Do you know
Roger
where that
Fosbury.
was? What his alma mater was?
The way you're grinning makes me think it's not Notre Dame.
Okay,
Is it Oregon State?
it's Oregon State.
Daniel always knew that.
Oregon State invented the Fosbury flop, which is what high jumpers use to this day.
That's crazy. I would have guessed
Francis,
that was
thank you.
earlier than
Francis?
the West Coast was opened up.
Thank you.
Let's
I
wrap up the
appre-
show. 'Cause
I
gotta
appreciate
I gotta
you.
pee.
I have to pee too. Before, when we did a commercial, you went to the bathroom and Andrew went outside, and I didn't know where to go.
Other outside.
But what if there's people out there?
Well, there's dogs too. So
Okay. Thank you for listening to the show. Danny Burgers hits game winners.
he does. It's true. I witnessed it.
So for the wiffle ball team, make sure you're on Danny's team.
I
He
will
will
be.
eat burgers and hit walk-offs.
I'll bring burgers.
He'll
And
hit
the Mariners
he'll hit
suck.
burgers
Do
and
the
eat
burgers
walk-offs.
fuel the walk-offs?
Oh, 100%.
I'll bring lots of burgers.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mariners suck and I hate them.
Okay.
And they also make me cry.
Wow.
So for my co-host Daniel, old salty knees
Oh,
Hargrove,
salty knees. And Justin, aged out Damashevitz.
and our trusty
Justin
producer,
had a really bad boba shit Hargrove.
and our trusty producer, Andrew IP Outside Gross. You've been listening to The Scrimmage.
Yes.